started. So I believe they are getting in the server. Let's go ahead and take a little cursory glance here.
They're all in there.
They're all in.
Packed house.
10 players.
10 on 10.
Yes, 10 on... What? Now, this is a BO3, so...
That's
You're going to want to, settle in a little bit, but it is going to be CLG Red facing off against the Puppers squad. A whole lot of woof woof, who let the dogs out, that whole nonsense. It is going to be map 1, which will be Cash. Pistol round is already live here. CLG Red starting on the CT side. Assumption is that they won the knife. Claudia playing back towards the truck. It's an A retake strategy here for the side of CLG Red. She's setting up for the Molotov, and it's going to land just a little bit off the bomb plant, but it's going to spread far enough that they aren't able to get that bomb down immediately, and that's going to make this retake that much easier. But do they realize that there's one raiding around the corner? That's going to be Velo. He drops, but there's Carl Sagan, bro, with the immediate trade out, and now they're going to shuffle on back in towards A-main and play for the post point.
Still 2 players coming up highway as well. Claudia just trying to put down some lead here with Potter finding the headshot. That will be a man advantage to the favor of the CLG Red team. Dai trying to get up close and personal, flushing out this player from quad, but meanwhile she loses his 2 teammates, and now back to the 2v1. Potter up close and personal. Dai incredibly lit here as she attempts to close the distance to the bomb, but there is currently a kit on Dai. She needs Potter to save her life. She needs the suppressive fire. She's going to tap the bomb, but she comes on off of it. Now she'll have to stick it with Oxide finding the frag. That is the round for Pupper squad, and they will find the opening one. 1-0 in their favor, heading forward.
Yeah. Oh, man, that was so close. So they had the kit, and Dai knew it. Like, she was playing that to a T. She's low on HP. She's got the kit. She's letting Potter basically be, like, the shield and push up. Potter needed to find that kill. It didn't happen. Sometimes it's just the nature of the game. So, unfortunately, it is not the round for CLG Red. And it will be Pupper squad moving into the first buy. Now, this is actually, I think, the first time we've seen CLG Red drop the pistol round on their CT side. Right. They have not lost a single pistol on their CT side yet. So this is their first one, and it's on Cash. T side moving in with Galil's and a double ump. So a pretty heavy investment here, going for 3 rifles and 2 UMPs. The only player picking up armor on the opposite side is, ironically, Potter. Stereotypically speaking, your AWPer is the only one who doesn't buy in these situations. But Potter goes straight to that armor P250.
Playing from heaven as well. Alone on B. Currently that A stack. That's really what CLG are relying on here. And fortunately for them, this could actually pan out. We're going to be seeing Pupper squad now starting to close the distance. They're going to be attempting to split onto the site. With Fisk inside the Squeaky and 4 players inside A main, they should, and think they will, just overwhelm the CTs. But now, as an unfortunate series of events, it is CLG Red to give away those aggressive positionings, and now Pupper squad starting to execute with a volley of nades into the site. They start to close the distance. Benita finding the first. Big K bringing it back, but Claudia with a second, and Potter with a 2K. The CLG Red girls go wild as they find themselves a round when they had no business winning it.
That was loud. That was a whole lot of screaming there from the side of CLG Red, and oh no, we've got to pause. What happened? Did somebody turn something off?
I can see on the player cam currently, Benita is tabbed out, but it looks like she's just inside Windows settings, so hopefully it's going to be a quick fix. This is my assumption.
Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, it looks like it's just
gotta be
it's a voice comm issue here.
All right,
Benita just trying to get everything settled. So we had fixed the sound problem, but Benita was actually the last one to get that voice comm issue fixed. So
you can see the rest of her team just like, yo, Benita, let's go.
All right, she's tabbing back in. Hallelujah. Has the call been made? Everything's fine. I can hear you. You can hear me. I am one, and we are all together. I don't know what's going on here. Oh. 2 players disconnected. So, if you don't know, this game's 5-on-5.
It's true.
And you play with 5 players. 5.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5. And unless you have like lost a finger, which sorry, but this is normally 5.
Yeah, weirdo.
In this case, there is not 5. And in fact, Velo has 100 ping on LAN.
He's back.
So that's something that can happen. You can tell it's been a long day because I'm just running out of banter. The banter tank is empty. I started to refuel it with Pepsi and Liquid Courage.
Yeah, of course. That's the way to do it.
I didn't get enough Liquid Courage nor pizza. So.
What?
Our producer is trolling us. I mean, at least it's lightening up the mood.
Oh
because
my God.
if I'm being brutally honest,
That is insane.
frustration is peaking.
It's insane.
He's insane. He is insane. You know what's insane? All 5 players have reconnected.
It's so fucking crazy.
It is.
How you could be a professional player and lose to Glocks 3 rounds in a row.
Sup, Days?
Oh, man. Daze has actually come to a Fragadelphia.
So
But-
does Steel, isn't it?
Yes, both of them have.
And Mo.
Post Eternal Ban.
Yes.
Both of them have attended Fragadelphias. We welcome everyone. We are just
Except for me. It's actually
Yeah,
quite
well,
hostile around here.
Canadians have to apply.
Oh.
There's a lengthy process. We have waivers and passport checks and the works.
God, you guys are so fucking dumb. It's so insane.
This is totally perfect for us right now. I've never played this game before, so I'm just kind of winging it. So,
Okay, here's something. Call of the North qualifiers for Northern Arena
oh,
Toronto.
come on! Shameless plug.
In that game.
Whoa, what'd I do?
In that game.
I did
right,
a search
in those
for
qualifiers,
409-38213.
CLG Red were playing versus the old roster of Insomnia Esports. Not the Insomnia Esports that we see here today, but rather a different lineup. In that game on Cash, they were incredibly down. I believe the scoreline was something like 11-4 or something along those lines. Incredibly one-sided half. And then, out of nowhere, CLG Red, with the help of Potter, who else? Explosive opping, incredible talent, blows that team all the way back into the comeback. Of course, they still didn't qualify for the LAN event, falling short to, I believe, Synthetic. But it just goes to show that, you know, I think these players, these women, although they do receive some flack,
Fine young ladies.
they do receive some flack, they have experience. They've played for a long time. And
Yeah.
I think that even if you look at, say, the caliber of play, let's contextualize that caliber. The fact that they can come back from games like that, I think, is indicative of the experience, because generally it is only players with that sort of experience that are able to surmount such lopsided halves. You think of, say, the glory days of Fnatic, when they're never allowed out of a game, no matter how
So are you
one-sided.
comparing Fnatic to CLG Red?
I am comparing the
Reddit hates you
experience
right now.
of these players in the context of their own individual or their own team skills. Contextualize CLG Red within their caliber and Fnatic within theirs. The commonality that is that a word? That
Yes,
I'm
this
drawing.
commonality is a word.
That I'm drawing is that these ladies have played CS for a long time, and so again, you can never rule them out. I mean, even after the CT side of Mirage versus Pupper Squad in the opening game today, it didn't seem very convincing, and I was kind of worried. But then sure enough, on T side, they just flip that switch and wreck face. So, that's my 2 cents. Did you watch the Call of the North qualifiers? They were great.
See, the thing is, like, I know if I don't know how many people are watching this right now, but I know those that are just destroying you right now.
Yeah.
Like savagely so.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you will never work in esports again.
Uh,
Not even as a janitor.
No?
You can't even clean up at Northern Arena.
Can
now.
I carry your bags next time you go to Poland or something?
No.
All right.
Like that's
I'm out.
you've killed your career. Not because you're wrong, but because you said something positive about a female CS team. So, I mean, if we're being true, that's kind of the general mentality, is that they don't get much support. I do agree that they have tremendous resolve, and they also have a lot of experience. You know, like Potter and Miss Harvey have been around for quite some time. Benita as well, playing with many teams that have won ESWC events in the past. But here you go. It's a pistol round take towards mid as CLG Red moves in with the rifles. They are going to drop a body early on in the round. It was actually Potter taking down Benita with the Galil. The kills are piling up, and I'm not even looking at them. There you go. Miss Harvey finds the last 2. Carl Saganbro and Velo both dropping in towards the vents in checker.
Yep.
So CLG Red pick up the round pretty easily. They only lose 1 body. It was Benita who got a little bit hyper-aggressive in mid, just pushing through that smoke. It was a force buy, so the UMP probably just a little caught off guard by the Tech-9s that close. But it will be the armorless pistol approach here for the Pupper squad as they try to just get that bomb down. And it looks like it's going to be running straight into that A site.
This might actually fan out. Claudia playing very passively here, or until I mention it, as she moves up towards the site itself. And of course, the bomb coming in from Squeaky with one player of an escort. So if they even just trade frags here, they could very well find that bomb plant, which, of course, at this point is really what they're looking for. Miss Harvey, though, trying to get a little bit close inside of Checkers. Of course, last round she was able to find that 3K spray down because Benita made that distraction inside mid, delayed the two-pronged assault, and facilitated the spray down. Miss Harvey now falling back behind the Checkers to maybe do the same. Playing it safe here, as I'm sure these players for CLG Red are aware that the pistols from Pupper Squad are inbound. So keep far away, stay away. Ooh. Benita, oh my lord, nearly finding that dink, but not able to, as it is 3 players boosted up right here on towards mid. Now that's going to be the first one. Benita finding a headshot. Velo dropped out of the equation here, as it is still the 5v4, again heavily favoring the side of CLG Red. Now as Benita goes wide for the repeat, she will not take any damage, but rather output some of her own. Benita finding one more, and it's going to be Oxide to bring it back with a single, but chiming in is both Claudia and Benita with 2 more frags, leaving it just down to Oxide, who's not able to find the bomb plant or another kill, even after acquiring the Galil.
Solid round there for CLG on the hold towards A. This is a player to really watch out for in my mind, is Claudia. In my opinion, based on what I've seen in the last year or so from the female CS teams, I think that Claudia is probably one of the best female players that I've ever encountered. As far as just like understanding the game to a proper level, like, you know, aim is one thing, but I'm just talking like the full aspect of a CS player. In my opinion, she's probably one of the most well-balanced CS players in the female scene. And then like Potter obviously is up there as well, but she performed great there on that A hold. We'll see if that continues here as play continues on into the 5th round. It's a full buy coming in here for the Pupper Squad. AKs across the board. No AWP in play yet for the T side. There is one naturally in the hands of Potter, who's positioned on top of the spindle, right on the opposite side of the white box. 3 players right now stacking up towards B with a potential 4th joining them, Velo. It looks like the B push is on here, and Benita is actually in a really good spot to stop this one. Playing in towards the vents, going to spot the first one, looking to get the kill on the second, can't quite finish it off. So now Miss Harvey has to reposition herself, and it's actually going to be a great position as well. Shuffling into that corner. This can be a really pesky spot to deal with, but they actually counter boost up into the vents to try and get them some control of the map, and they do so. So now it's Potter who's kind of caught off guard here again with this op, and she's just taking way too many bullets. Missing that first shot was doom, and now at this point, Miss Harvey really doesn't have much of a choice. She's just got to try and save. Hold on to this M4 for another round.
Solid play there coming in from Pupper Squad, going for that boost back into vent and then immediately rotating everybody back. I mean, obviously it comes down to Oxide finding those 2 kills inside of mid, catching them off guard as CLG Red quite clearly expected the rotation to the B site, and those players coming in through mid are just caught off guard. Caught up close and personal is never going to help, especially with the op in the hands of Potter, so that will be a round for Pupper Squad. And CLG Red still sitting at 3, but they will be able to rebuy quite easily at this point. Potter again on the AWP, and this time it will make an appearance on the side of the terrorists as well. Velo investing into the big green cannon. Currently just holding the line. Playing patient. Potter getting aggressive, finding the headshot to Big K. That's a statement and a half to get round number 6 rolling.
What a shot there, too. Right through the edge. If Potter starts hitting her stride, that's very scary for anyone that matches up against them. And that first shot is a big way to get things going again with that op, because really, you know, throughout some of these other maps, she's felt a little bit off. Like, not necessarily bad, just not quite playing up to her normal standard. I don't know if you agree.
The thing with Potter is I think that when she prevails as an opper in those situations where she's taken an aggressive peek as a CT side. There is actually quite often you'll see her be holding an angle and miss the shot. Right away, I'm thinking when she's inside of Market in the previous game, looking towards apartments and misses the cross both times, jumps out the window and misses the shot again. It's the easy shots she sometimes misses because to me she's a high-octane, high-pressure situation opper with an aggressive re-peeking style.
I mean, I can see that to a certain degree. Like, Shazam made he made himself popular by his ability to hit like really flashy shots.
Yeah.
But in general, Shazam always felt like he would miss the regular shots that maybe a more standard or consistent offer would connect on. Here's the push towards A, and it's a great flash from Claudia in the site, gunning down 2 and completely demolishing the push. It's up to Velo, who hits 1 onto Claudia, silencing the rifle in sight that had cut his team down, but it's all on him. And he's being flanked as well. He just really doesn't stand much of a chance here in this situation. Die coming in from the backside. He holds with the op for a moment, but peeks back towards the site, and there you go. Potter closing things out. So it was 2 quick kills for Claudia on that site that really anchored things down. Potter starting things off with the op and then finishing it with the op as well. And CLG Red send the Pupper Squad right back down to where they are used to, which is Little money and a loss leading into it.
Little money, big dreams. Tech 9s across the board. 1 flash, 1 smoke, and a Molotov. So this is most certainly going to be an A-site strike. Just use that little array of nades to at least try to close the distance. It will be pressure on the shoulders of Claudia as she attempts to hold the line from the back of Quad. Now this is a nice little jump peek, at least going to be trying to grab some initial information, and now she does also have support from Benita, but these are neither of the two oppers here, so the spray down very possible. Claudia's nade's going to be going out. She swaps to the P90 and she finds herself 1. Coming wide, she grabs the second as Big K does nail 1. Potter with the op, chiming in from the back of truck. Claudia to swap to the USP and find the last, an absolute flawless hold here for CLG Red.
Great hold there from the P90 on Claudia, who now sits at the top of the scoreboard here for CLG Red, 9-4, and more pistol play coming in for the Puppers. Wolf Wolf, as they work alongside pistols like the Tech 9, the Deagle, the P250, and even the CZ75, one we don't necessarily see as much as we once did. But Potter still holding down the op, and here's the double op setup again. This time it's Die, so we kind of profiled this in the Mirage matches. They put the op on Benita, which is not something I've seen them do a whole lot. Maybe a change since the pickup of De Beers as, coach for the team. Inciting some confidence in these players when it comes to the scoped rifle. Here's the smoke take towards mid. 2 smokes out to cover the push. They're going to run right at Potter. She's got to be careful. Flashbang around the bend, and she manages to escape because of it. A nice little shot as she reels back behind the E-box there. Claudia now in really good position to make a little bit of cash here with this P90. Not as much as the other SMGs, but it doesn't matter. There's 2 lining them up. Gonna find the third as well. The last person standing is gonna be Big Key. And unfortunately, this is not the greatest spot to find yourself in. So CLG Red now pick up 6, kind of forgetting the last map to a certain degree, and starting off strong on the CT side, which thus far in this tournament has been their weak point.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great start from them. And I mean, it all starts with Potter obviously bringing off shots. They know that Opper's close range. They know that they should be able to overwhelm them if they can grab that distance quickly. But she gets around the corner in the nick of time. And if that kill had gone the way of the Pupper squad, then who knows what would have happened. But was CLG Red with another, and now Miss Harvey getting aggressive as well. Now, inside of Checkers, she has been able to hold this position with a pop flash. She comes out wide for the repeat, grabbing a second kill before Big K and Fisk chime back in for Pupper squad, equalizing the body count back to the 3v3. Now, the utility usage here inside of both Tree and Heaven will keep the rotation at bay for the time being, but Benita able to grab 1, traded back by Oxide. Again, we continue forward at an equalized state. 2 versus 2 with the map control, the site control currently in the hands of the Pupper squad. And still CLG Red waiting for an opportunity, trying to piece together some sort of chance. Claudia now repositioning herself to inside of vents. This could isolate the fight with Oxide behind Checkers, but the timing, it has to work out. And the Molotov, that will force his hand, and as he goes wide, he grabs the headshot. Benita, the last one standing.
Nice flash there from the site that actually gives Benita the opening she needed. The bomb isn't planted for this man in towards Checker, but Benita doesn't have a kit. He doesn't know that, though, and Benita's going to just peek out and finish off what she started. So Claudia doesn't get that kill initially, but it's great work towards the end to figure things out, and she will end up clutching out the situation. 7 rounds now to 2 for the Pupper squad. CLG just off to a fantastic start. Let's go ahead and listen in on the voice comms here for CLG Red, see what's going on their side.
What's the strat? Should I take mid?
Honestly,
I'm gonna
we
pick
should,
door
we should
again.
boost over.
Okay.
Boost over mid.
You guys go ahead.
How many rounds
Molly
did they
then.
leave
I'm
in a
gonna-
row? Yeah,
You're
not
picking
bad.
door, Potter? Yeah.
Okay,
Do
I'm
your
gonna
normal
smoke
thing.
it.
Yeah, smoke.
I hear couple aiming, I think. We're reverse boosting right now.
2 aiming. I got 1 door.
I'm holding the smoke.
You can just hold her, Benny.
She doesn't spot anything.
I'm fence right now, opping aiming. 2 aiming.
Nice.
That was a gun.
Coming
Falling
at
off.
you.
5v3.
Oh god, 1 more.
Flashing.
bomb.
Flashing.
2 aiming. They're both in there, I'm blind.
Under boost.
I'm going
go.
mid. I'm gonna
He's
come
back
off.
I'm not
Okay, I'm
Still 1
rushing.
aiming.
Have it.
One mid.
The Colt may take.
Last one is mid.
Left side
Yeah,
highway.
I have your mid.
Like, you have our highway?
Good
Let's
job.
fucking
Good
go,
job.
guys.
Sorry, I meant mid
I
like
think-
red lock.
I think we'll
I like that there.
the
the shot from Potter into the butt of Claudia.
Yeah.
Just like trying to peek. Claudia's like, I got this. I'll step in the way and help. and instead she just blocks the bullet. But
Get out of
still,
there.
another round for CLG, and that was a buy from Pupper squad. So force buy coming in, Tech 9 armor, P250 Deagle, CC75, basically verbatim what we saw in the past. And this time it's going to be just a straight-on onslaught towards this B bomb site.
Trying to hold the line is going to be Potter. Again, on that AWP, looking for the angle. The Molotov from Miss Harvey, that will buy them time, but the T's now using that smoke grenade to block off the line of sight. Potter getting aggressive here. This is where she shines. She finds the first to Fisk, swaps out for the Molotov, and now tries to escape with her life, but instead Velo denies. Miss Harvey to bring it back as Oxide trades one as well. It is the B site firmly in the hands here of the Pupper squad, and the bomb plant certainly inbound. Benita's Molotov, that may burn out the bomb planter, but the tag drops her to 15, and it is a person advantage here for the Pupper squad.
The Molotov was actually just a little bit too deep there, trying to land it on that default spot. Claudia's flashbang not exactly as on point as she may have hoped. Spots one towards B main, finishes off that player there. There's one directly underneath, and that's actually going to be Oxide, who hits a nice shot from the Tech 9. So it is a round finally coming in for the Pupper squad. Now, we mentioned this. It was these types of rounds that totally caught them off guard. CLG Red did not seem prepared for raw speed, kind of like stratless style play, where it's just like, we're just going to go A, and we're going to go with A as fast as we can, flash out, and we're just going to bombard the site. You know, those were the rounds that CLG was caught unprepared because they were like trying to prep and set for a standard defense, and they just had no chance stopping the push. It's when they fall back to this more passive, sort of slow style, like feeling out the map, that CLG Red controls the game.
It's also nice to see a bit of a response here. On Mirage, when they were being overwhelmed, obviously the double op setup doesn't help when you're being pushed by all-out aggression. Normally, at least on the Mirage games earlier, they would actually keep buying into the double op. This time, Potter, the sole op, and the first casualty of the round here. She drops out from mid. Benita going to be able to escape with her life, but only for a moment as Oxide comes wide from the squeaky door, and it looks like the A-site strike. Claudia attempting to hold it yet again. She has been able to find kills in this situation before. This time already finding one to Fisk, tagging up Big K, but he finds the kill. Bomb now planting on the standard position, leaving both Dai and Miss Harvey to the 2v4. Molotov gonna miss. The nades, unfortunately, just not connecting thus far from CLG Red. And another mistake that could certainly cost them here. Again, they do still have utility. Flash, Molly, Smoke, and Frag. 2 lit players opposing them, but 4 in total.
As they begin this retake, it's going to be Oxide to make first contact with them as they try to get up towards the site. There's Big K right on the opposite side of the big box, and Oxide to finish things off as well. That's now 4 rounds here for the Pupper squad. They're feeling a little bit more confident than maybe they were early on, so let's go ahead and jump into their voice comms and hear what that confidence sounds like.
Yeah, chill. Just spread out. Work a default.
Alright.
Hold for push. They're probably not broke, but they could be.
Here, boost me on red, boost me on red.
Okay.
Holding B. Don't worry about it.
I got the counter
not
boost.
broke.
Try to hold
broke
them
man.
from getting locker room at A main.
They boosted it, or they smoked it, sorry.
Okay. Careful door.
Vila, what are you holding? B?
B, yeah. They smoked it off.
Okay.
Can we work out mid?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna molly right under boost.
Do you
I'm
need
gonna
a
flash
cross?
over. Let's just go out. No, let's just go out dry. I'm gonna flash one time.
Close mid, dead.
Nice.
I mollied. I'm
One
flashing.
target be bent.
I just flashed. I flashed.
Then not broke.
Yeah, we're
then
going
not
B.
broke.
No.
Go
We're going
towards B. Go towards B.
Okay.
Vent, 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 vent.
Yo,
Still there.
you guys have bomb.
78. Just got 30 health.
So it does all come down to Velo here in the 1v3. Unfortunately, the curse is real. We jump into the comms there, and it ends up being the round they drop. And it's actually a 4K from Miss Harvey. She was hunting down the ace as well in checker. Dai's going to peek out wide. Decides to just keep on going with it. Runs right around the back site. Big box. 9 rounds now for CLG Red. Fantastic play from Miss Harvey there. You can actually hear the comms. The comms for Pupper squad were on point. They're like,
Yeah,
I'm going to molly off close mid. I think there's one there. They're going to go for the molly, and then they just catch like a hip of the CT player who is playing underneath the boost. So they use the AK, and they think they're like, one's in mid or one's in vents, but the vent's not broken, so they make that mistake. It was a boost up from CLG Red, so good play from them, not shooting out the vent and coming in from the backside to catch them off guard. And that's where you know, Miss Harvey really struck. I mean, finding 3 kills early and then a 4th as well. Here we go back towards this A site, though. Molotovs are down. Nade to follow as well. It's just an onslaught of grenades in towards this A site. Potter coming up towards Highway with the AWP. The bomb is down in the site, and right now it seems as though they are unable to find it.
Ooh, Oxide taking a shot to the chest. Potter finding the tight angle and now trying to close the distance to Big K. He, of course, has that bomb, and he grabs himself too. But Potter from behind will deny. It's going to be 2 players surviving here for the side of CLG Red. 10-4 is the score, and it's looking good. This is a much more solid CT half from them, and as you mentioned earlier, Bach, this is what we saw them struggle with on Mirage. So I think it helps, of course, that they, in round number 5, they lose one and then reset directly afterwards. That momentum definitely solidifying the first spree of victories for them. Of course, we do see Pupper Squad grab some later, but here we are. 1 AK in the hands of Oxide. 4 upgraded pistols and armor across the board with smokes to follow. Velo taking the head off Benita.
I guess that's one way to do it. Yeah, nice shot from the Deagle. They're not exactly anticipating this play from Claudia. I don't remember the last time I saw someone actually play that spot in a match. It's kind of like one of those things you just do for fun. Well, when you're up 10-4, fun is kind of the name of the game. Dai has to be careful here as there's a lot of T-side players on the opposite side. The flashbang through actually ends up doing more harm than good for her as it blinds her in the process. Miss Harvey drops to a 1 and now it's again down to limited bodies here for CLG Red as they're going back for this retake, and now it's all up to Potter. She's got to put the team on her back. We've seen her do it in the past. She does have the op. Goes to that pre-fire shot towards the vents, but there's no one there just yet. Flashbang in the hand, getting ready to pop flash out. And it's actually on point, but Carl Saganbro playing close. It's a pretty easy round there towards the end for the Pupper squad. So, 10-5 is your score at half. A pretty solid first half for CLG Red, considering we've seen them, you know, kind of flatline on their CT side, on Mirage at least today.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is the 3rd match we've seen. 2 were Mirage, so I mean, just take that with a grain of salt.
It's nice to see.
Yes.
It's nice to see them have that bit of structure, and I think it does come down to some huge individual plays, actually. I mean, Miss Harvey with the 4K inside of Checker Vent, Potter landing op shots galore, all sorts of beautiful stuff from them, and looking to replicate it here back into the 2nd pistol. Now, we mentioned Bach. They've only lost 1 pistol so far over their 3 maps. Will they lose another? They've got that smoke double flash. CT's not playing a kit, but instead an incendiary and a flashbang in the hands of Velo. Velo currently inside the Z connector, rotating up towards Truck. Could definitely employ that onto the site. Potter leading the charge here for the T side. Big K to find the opening kill, but he gets dinked in return, and Miss Harvey will combine forces with Claudia to trade things back. 4 versus 4 here, the incendiary laying down, but a little too late as the bomb plant has already come through.
Here they go, though, with the retake splitting from multiple directions. That Molotov is actually a little bit too deep. Benita has to be careful. She's caught looking the opposite direction. She's going to drop. Carl Saganbro coming up into the site. It's all down to Claudia here. How did this so quickly fall into the hands of the CT side? She's running low on ammo. She's actually at risk of getting knifed here. So, I mean, that round just kind of fell apart for CLG in the end. They were, like, you know, easily controlling the site, and then just the flank comes in. The player from Highway, the player from Truck, they just weren't prepared for that, you know, all angles push.
Yeah.
And Pupper squad basically easily retake the site. They do lose a few bodies, but there's a pause coming in. That pause was actually called for before the round went live. So I'm not sure what the pause is, but hopefully it's nothing too complicated. Hopefully. Everyone's computers appear to be on still, so that's good.
Oh, we have names now.
Oh, look at that. That's me down there, and that's you over there.
It is.
Your name looks a little bit smaller in font. It's good.
It's because it's longer. Look how long mine is.
Yeah. It's all about girth. Length doesn't mean anything. Oh,
Call me scrawny for a reason.
Oh my god. Okay. I actually have to say that was a good retort. But it's going to be the retort round from CLG as they move in towards pistols, trying to get that bomb down desperately. So they did get that plan in the first round, so they have the money to work with to a certain degree. There's the flashbang up and over the hut. SMG's in play on 2, rifles on 3. And they already get that bomb down in towards Checker as they try to continue this push on towards the B site. Both players playing back behind the default spot. The armorless pistol's getting chewed apart, though. Unable to get into the site. Now it's just Claudia all alone. And down she goes. So It was an attempt to get the bomb down to just make that third buy that much easier. Instead, they don't get it down, and as a result, they're actually not looking so hot money-wise. So I don't know if it was just maybe some flashbangs and smokes that put them in this spot, but the previous round made it so they can't really afford to buy up, and even if they did, the players that could would have had AK armor, no utility whatsoever. So I think this is the right move. Work with the pistols one more time and see what happens.
Looks like they're going to be going for this A aggression as well. They do have Potter heading over towards Squeaky with Miss Harvey by her side to support, but a very aggressive push here from the counter-terrorist. Big K, Velo combining forces to find two, and then suddenly that flank coming in from Squeaky does catch them off guard. Miss Harvey with a double off the back of the Tech 9, but it is still 1v3, and she continues this engagement, trying to take down Fisk. Fisk having the range engagement and the advantage off that FAMAS. That is what's left here for Pupper Squad. They've lost the double ump, 3 FAMASes left with flashbangs aplenty. And it's just Miss Harvey down to 7 points of health here, trying to work her way out from Squeaky. Here's the problem. She's pinned down. They know exactly where she is. At least she's been able to grab this UMP, and now suddenly a bit of footing. Suddenly, out of nowhere, she has managed to get on out. It does seem like Carl Sagan has a bit of a read on this situation. She's aware that she could be elsewhere, and now they have the confirmation. Miss Harvey, in a matter of time, should be dealt with.
Oh, hold the phone.
God.
That flashbang ends up really causing problems there. For the Pupper Squad, they just didn't anticipate that last player playing in towards A main. The problem, though, is that cost them a lot of money. So every bit of cash that they had been able to store up previously is now gone. They survived with multiple bodies in that previous round. That one cost them a lot. So they're actually on the fringe of being, reset with their cash to a certain degree. If CLG Red can win this one, that could be huge. So Miss Harvey makes that one punishing for them, and there you go. There's Potter with that strong start. We've seen her do it time and time again with that AWP, and she does it here as well on cash, taking down Velo very early in the round.
Aggressive peak entry kills. That's what Potter does, and she does it incredibly well. Now she'll be looking for another one. Almost looked like she wanted to go for the boost, but other ideas here for CLG Red. Now, Miss Harvey has been able to keep an eye on the B main, making sure, of course, that there is no flank. Claudia doing the same thing on the opposing extremity of the map. This is nice. You want to make sure Pupper Squad can't get up and behind you. Leaving the bomb outside mid-main just goes to show that CLG Red are willing to work this one-player advantage, willing to take their time, as they do still have a minute on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about cash is basically, for the first, 50 seconds or so, you pretty much just, play in a scout mode. You're just reading your opponent, so you're just looking for information. So you kind of just fan out across the map and see what you can find, especially if you start things out with that strong kill. You want to see what they're doing with that. So in this situation, they decided to take control of mid here. Unfortunately, Benita takes a little bit of time to get that kill on the player close. The flashbang did clip her just a bit, but it doesn't seem to matter too much. They're going to move on in towards this A site. Big K not able to take that duel with Die in towards A main, so it's up to Carl Sagan, bro, and Fisk rotating in from truck, and there's the first one going down. Carl Sagan, bro, actually spots Die on the opposite side of Claudia, just sending one sailing over Claudia's shoulder. But that's the round for CLG Red. And like we said, the money, because of it not looking so hot, the only people who have cash are going to have to drop pistols. So Fisk is just going to sort of fund a pistol buy here for the big Puppers, or for the Pupper Squad side. And it will be a chance for CLG Red to spread that lead.
Looking like, again, they're emphasizing the boost, so this is going to be a good mid-play, considering, of course, they have the weapons advantage here. This is working out perfectly. Use that distance. Try to find the engagement. It is only Oxide trying to hold mid. Excuse me, it was Velo, who's now been dealt with incredibly swiftly. Already through vents. Benita leading the charge. Carl Sagan on the site and in the corner. Of course, if they don't check this thoroughly, she could very well find maybe 1 or 2 frags. But they do round the corner. They check it. They frag her. Fisk able to bring one back inside of Checkers from vent. This is currently where Pupper Squad seem to be trying to retake from. Fisk with the AK trying to engage, but taking a lick of damage. He will fall back. Big K applying pressure nonetheless. And Oxide still thinking of coming from B main. Unfortunately for Pupper Squad, CLG Red have a very firm hold here on the B main. Potter with the op, watching the flank, finds the shot, finds the frag. Oxide down, leaving just Mr. Fisk all alone with the AK.
Fisk just going to save that AK. As even after this, some of these players are going to be sitting a little bit low. So you get 1,400 for your first round and 1,900 after that. If he survives, the buy is actually manageable. It would still be tight, but he's got to survive with this AK. Gets the first one coming around the corner. If he could drop the op as well, that would be huge. Potter is going to duck peek to a certain degree. Misses the first shot, re-peeks, and there you go. So no saved AK here means that the money is going to be kind of all over the place. They could still buy, but they'd have to work with the FAMAS. So they wouldn't have the option of going to the M4. Had he saved, he drops an M4 for the one player who can't afford it. keeps the AK, and the rest of the team can buy up. So you can see just how things go because of it. He's actually going to opt for an armorless M4. I guess that's an interesting decision, but we'll see how it works out.
Big K with armor as well.
Yeah. Well, that one at least makes a certain amount of sense.
Yeah.
Nice shot from Velo there over towards the white box and mid with the deagle.
Ooh, Velo not going to be able to land the second one, though. So this leaves Big K with a Deeg and Fisk off that M4 in a 2 versus 4. CLG Red looking to take this one straight towards the B site, however. Looking to prong it from Vents, Checkers, and B main. Currently, however, they do have Big K on the flank, and Fisk still watching this cross. So unless they cross from underneath Heaven down through the headshot lane, they will be exposed. But they play it properly, they play it safely, and they do get themselves out onto the site. Fisk now spotting players, but Claudia's too quick. With a frag for her, Benita finds the last. And that's CLG Red now with a 5-point lead over Pupper's squad. Luckily, the silver lining in this situation is that Pupper squad are back into gun buys.
And the other thing is, this is map 1. This is a BO3 because this is the this cider match to determine who goes on to the playoffs and who gets sent home or gets to watch the rest of the tournament from our lovely spectating area next door. So you still have more opportunities if you lose this first map. Big K gonna get boosted up into the corner of the site. He's got Oxide also sitting back towards the opposite side of Forklift. There's the door opening. And the bait play here from Claudia. I don't think they realize there's this many people in towards Squeaky Door there. There's the Molotov out. They've got 3 bodies in that area. They've still got one back, way back, holding A main. That's Velo. But a multitude of these players are going to be coming out of the Squeaky Door. Oh, Velo. Whiffs on the molly there. Absolute misthrow. And here's the push. Die gets flashed, but the push is on here with the Molotovs heading out towards the site. The first one that's going to draw blood, though, is going to be Big K from up on the corner. Now, Oxide trying to peek. Big K only going to get those 2 kills. Oxide in sight with this M4 finds one, but it's actually Velo who strikes with the AWP. Looking to find an angle, but he's not going to get it. The bomb is going to be planted, and it will now be a 2 versus 3. CLG Red trying to play the post play.
You have some utility to use here when Potter finding another kill. It's equalized back to the 2v2. Double kit currently on the side of Pupper squad, but remember that Velo is still trying to op. Carl Sagan on the site. Claudia coming wide, finding the headshot, and now taking this one to the man advantage. Velo trying to close the distance. Even though he swaps out to the M4, it's just not enough. Claudia from the back of quad with a 2K to clear things up, and a 3K in the round. Her, Miss Harvey, and Potter most certainly leading the charge here. Look at the deaths on Potter as well.
I mean, 20 kills on all 3. That's a solid stat line for everyone. I mean, Claudia, we've seen multiple times, picking up a 2 or 3K on B when they were on the CT side, and here she's doing it as well on the T side. So great work from the side of CLG Red. We'll see if they can continue on here. They're just 2 rounds away from closing out map number 1. Big K with the FAMAS in hand, trying to hold down towards A. And oh, that is just unfortunate timing. Claudia just pops out the door and bids him farewell there. A nice headshot from the AK. One more. Going to get aggressive on A main. Not going to happen today. The flashbang was on point, but the flash only did so much. Velo gets shotgunned by the AK at close range. Double Molotov. Oh, triple Molotov towards the site. Oxide sticks around for long enough as that one molly was just a little bit off the mark. But now the plan is going to go down. It's going to be up to these pistols to try and hold it off, and they're doing a pretty good job thus far. Oxide's still in the site, proven to be a problem. And there you go. Potter goes down to the pistol, flanking from the backside. So a solid round there for the Pupper squad, but they've still got to do that many more times if they want to survive this one.
I mean, they did manage to do that one with only some upgraded pistols, so props to them for managing to stay alive, not just for fighting on overtime, but still with a bit of wiggle room. They can give up one more round without actually losing the first map, which, of course, Buck, is their map choice. This was Pupper Squad's pick here on Cash, so CLG Red doing a good job of mitigating them that easy victory, but the boost up here towards mid will be fought with resistance. It is Oxide to grab 2. Miss Harvey with the trade, gets a double of her own, and nearly, yes, gets it. One-ups him. 3K for her as she starts to head her way out towards the A site. Big K again using the verticality within this site to try and find himself some kills as they attempt the entry. 3 players here for CLG Red versus the 2 remaining defenders, but all 3 terrorists currently grouped up inside A main.
I mean, this position right now for Big K could be damning for CLG Red. They gotta peek this, and they gotta peek it quick. He can't get more than 1 kill from this position. He's going to peek out, finds the first one. The call's been made. and he gets 2 kills, exactly what they needed to not have happen. Claudia has the bomb and time, jumps right into the Molotov. She's taking so much damage from this Molly. She doesn't even realize that they're playing right on the opposite side of the smoke. This is so confusing. Glock comes out. Oh my goodness, what are we seeing here? Velo now playing the game here with the op. He's run out of ammo with the pistol, and Claudia is going to clutch it out. That was scary. I mean, that was not a situation you want to be in there. Claudia just blindly jumped into the Molly, couldn't quite see it. It was actually kind of behind her.
Yeah.
And not only that, you know, Mollies don't always translate well to vertical textures.
Exactly.
So she doesn't quite see it so much on the forklift, takes 60 or so damage.
And has legs exposed.
Yeah, from the smoke. So, I mean, in the end, it's really a situation that Pupper Squad should have won. I mean, that's mistakes on their part. Velo should have been able to clutch that one out. Unfortunate for them, and it does mean a force buy coming in here for what could be the final round.
Velo taking a bit of an early engagement here, trying to use the distance, close it up, find the frag, but he is denied. And all players still living here. A minute 30 to play with still plenty of time, but it does seem as though CLG Red are going to start to pick up the pace back towards this A-site strike. Miss Harvey from behind forklift finds the head of Carl Sagan. Claudia now chiming in as Dye does grab another, but it is Velo off the 5-7 to hit a double. He nearly gets the third as well as they do manage to cross the smoke. Now Potter watching the flank. This is great because the flanks from Pupper Squad had net them frags. This time she's a step ahead, and they take the man advantage back in the favor of CLG with Dye grabbing another. It's all down to the shoulders of Oxide. Deagle in hand with a full set of armor and a flash on his belt. But 1v3. Okay, sure, Miss Harvey's incredibly lit, but you still have both Dye and Potter, and all three of these ladies are armed to the teeth with AKs and nades aplenty.
Oxide's got this Deagle, no kit, but he does have a flashbang. So that potential opening opportunity here. He's got to find that first kill, and he's got to find it quick. Working in from Highway, realizing he doesn't really have the time to take this one slow, and it's a great setup for CLG Red. They've got this player positioned in towards Closet. That's the one he makes first contact with. The flash is actually out. He hits the first shot. He's still got a Deagle in hand. Needs to find the one towards Quad. That would be Miss Harvey, and it's not going to happen. So CLG Red take the first map 16-9, a very similar score to their first map against Pupper Squad earlier today. It was 16-10 on Mirage, but this time it's on Cash. So now we move into our second map, and CLG Red's going to have that advantage. And there you go, a little bit of a dab there from Potter. Oh, a headbutt high five as well. But CLG Red naturally celebrating the last map for them on Mirage.
Yeah,
was not a fun one.
To be fair, it was also plagued with some technical issues, which is never even more.
We won't go into the details.
Of course not.
We won't go into the details.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, I forget. There was no problem. What are you talking about? Problems. What's this? Canadians. Yeah, I mean, they definitely looked a lot stronger there. I mean, Miss Harvey was hitting her shots. Potter was really on fire. Even at points we saw, you know, Claudia went huge. Benita was going big. Dye statistically wasn't like phenomenal, but at the same point in time, she didn't really have to do much because, you know, those other players were basically doing all of the heavy hitting. So good work from CLG Red. We're going to go ahead and take a break as we get prepped to move into our second map. Our second map is
Dust 2.
Dust 2. Okay, I leaned over to ask our producer, and this guy takes notes. So there we go. Dust 2 is going to be your second map. We'll be back in a bit.
Personalize the way you see everything. And then conquer. Exclusive Black Equalizer brightens dark scenes without overexposing bright areas. Use the S-switch to quickly access the setting and switch between save modes. Adjust the angle effortlessly for maximum comfort.
This is your life. This is your life. tell me, baby? I wanna know, baby. I heard somebody say, at the cold pack, baby. What you tell me? I want you to know, baby. Listen. It seems to me that you'll be changing my mind. It seems to me that oh darling, you don't talk no like you used to do. What in the world? How baby? Can't be. How baby? Can't be. At the cold pack, baby. What you tell me? I want you to know, baby. Listen. It seems to me that
That's Baby making music. We're back, and it is more of CLG Red versus the Pupper Squad. And it's going to be moving over to Dust 2. The first map was Cash, and it was a map that went the way of CLG Red. Benita gets aggro in mid, gets a one and done for that position play. Kind of interesting moves early on here from both teams, but it is going to be a mid push, and Die just not prepared, gets the second follow-up after reeling back behind the wall a little bit. Potter coming in from the flank for the backside of smoke. Are they going to be prepared for this? It looks like they are, but she's the last one left alive and unable to get that USP under control in time to get the kill on Big K. Big K, though, runs back to find another gun. Almost goes down as a result. Potter desperately looking for this kill. Only 13 bullets left in the gun as well.
Oh, it's a nice little pop flash to try to make some space. The second one going out as well, but it is going to be Velo with a headshot. And another pistol round here going the way of the Pupper Squad. Now, that round, we see Claudia not only get aggressive in towards the bottom of tunnels, but then also we see Benita get aggressive towards the top of mid. Of course, Claudia shut down and gets nothing. Benita, as you mentioned, the one and done. So, two different pushes here for the side of CLG Red straight out the gates. And unfortunately for them, it doesn't quite pan out. Pupper Squad able to grab it and straight into the weapons. They're going to be grabbing that AK double Galil double Mac 10. Claudia playing the other side of the fire, and she hasn't been spotted. The trigger discipline is strong until Big K spots it.
Yeah, that position, I was trying to get into the eyes of one of the players coming up from long so you could see just how hard it is to spot those players in those spots. That cat push is perfect, as is the push from mid. Now it's Benita in just no man's land right there with the deagle. Miss Harvey to try and close things out here. Does get one on Oxide jumping through the smoke in mid. But unfortunately, it's just going to be a Mac 10, so really it's going to be the 5-7 push up towards the A site from Catwalk. Fisk back behind the box with the Galil, and they managed to get a second one as well off the corpse of one of their fallen comrades. Miss Harvey gets close with this Mac 10. She could jump peek this player in sight. She's got to be careful. Fisk is holding a pretty tight angle around the cat box, but Miss Harvey's going to strike and gets the kill on the man, wrapping back behind that box. Carl Saganbro now with an AK in towards the pit does the early damage to Miss Harvey. At this point, it's not a round that she can win. There's too much time ticked away. Even if she gets that kill, she has to run back to the site, and she'd only have about 8 seconds or so left on the defuse. So it is a round for the Pupper Squad, but
yeah, they lose 4.
A pretty good round there from CLG Red.
Of course, they do get to grandfather in that one AK, so they just do lose the double Mac 10, double Galil. But still, that's cash gone, which could have been used versus this round, considering CLG Red have absolutely nothing. A pure vanilla round here. Big K with the opening double. make it almost a third, but Velo going to take it away as he does take the headshot down to Claudia. Now just Dai and Miss Harvey, both of them inside of mid. Again, this round was Pupper squads from the get-go. It did come down to, of course, could maybe CLG find some kills off an aggressive push. They try the long play, and it doesn't work out. So, Lock, 2v5, what are they looking for?
Well, they're looking to just do some damage, but with that push on Catwalk, not really netting Dai anything. Miss Harvey's just going to hold back behind double doors, maybe wait for the bomb to blow and then peek out, see if she can spot somebody playing towards the pit. She knows there's one there at this point, and more than likely the bulk of players is going to fall off long towards pit, staying together, knowing that she's playing for exits. So she'll just sit in the door and wait. And we'll see how long she decides to stay patient before she gets a little bit too curious about what could be going on towards long. She does wrap in towards the opposite side of the door, and now pushing on out. There you go. I mean, it was just a matter of time before she walks into the sights of one of those players. So she does push out and get spotted by Oxide. So it is a 3-0 start. Basically what we saw previously, except for the fact that it was, I think, CLG Red who upset in that one eco round on Cash, right?
Yes.
That was the first time we saw them drop a pistol round, but they made up for it.
Yes.
But this time they don't do so. They got very close. It's the big buy coming in. Potter picking up the op and rifles on the rest.
Potter not able to land the shot through the smoke, but it is going to be a very big fight here towards long until CLG Red does decide to disengage. This is smart. Of course, the aggression from Pupper Squad has netted them control of pit, and now with both Claudia and Potter boosted up onto the site, they can react to this accordingly. Meanwhile, the rest of Pupper Squad falling out towards the top of mid. So right now with pit control, with eyes through door, what I'm seeing here, Bach, is going to be the cap push from the bomb and those two other players. If, of course, they want to go 4 or put a second towards long. Either way, that changes things. Potter with the opening headshot. Big K down and out of the equation. Now, immediately, there's an emphasis changed out towards Catwalk. Claudia and Potter. Claudia gets caught looking the wrong direction, and now it's up to Pupper Squad as they try to push the envelope up towards Catwalk.
Claudia had her back turned. I think they were trying to call for a flashbang there, and that's that, or they were getting told they're coming up Cat, they're going to flash their way around, and she was trying to hide it from it. I don't really know what the call was, but kind of an interesting choice of decisions. Miss Harvey's going to spot one, crossing towards long. Unfortunately, she's just not able to convert. And Oxide gets hungry and just dives off the site, finishes off the 4K, and gets a second op. So not as smooth a start here for CLG Red as we saw on the previous map. And really, it's been speed that's working out. We mentioned that a couple times now. You know, teams have a tendency to struggle against this, like, let's just run out and we'll just flash and we'll smoke and we'll do everything we can to just get those early kills. They just kind of get caught off guard. So eventually, CLG Red could adapt and play more passively, and they'd just waste all their utility early in the round for no reason. But right now, with the way that CLG Red is playing, it's working out beautifully for the Puppers.
And they're just going to be using this advantage here with the 3 AKs and the double op all the way to the bank. But currently 4 players for CLG Red stacked over here towards A, which Pupper Squad have been favoring. So CLG Red with a good read here. Of course, they don't have many tools to work with, but at this point, anything is better than nothing. Carl Sagan setting up the pop flash. And it was going to be Fisk to come around the corner, but instead he is blinded in the process. And now it is CLG Red still trying to hold off this cap push, but nades aplenty from both sides as Oxide finds the opening kill, trying to take players down from the top of mid. Claudia looking for heads, and she will spot players rounding the corner, but unable to land any of these shots. Fisk finding one. Velo and Big Gate chiming in. Claudia only coming up with a single frag, leaving Potter down to the 1v4. Now Fisk and Big K incredibly tagged. More damage can be dealt, and that's the chance that Potter needed. Unfortunately for her, she just can't finish him off at that range with a USP.
Yeah, you couldn't really tell there either. He was actually behind the barrels. You couldn't tell because of the X-ray, so you know, from that range it's kind of weird. Yeah. But he was back behind the barrel, and everyone knows how annoying that barrel can be. It's 100% bulletproof, regardless of where you shoot it. You could shoot the very top lip, and unless they changed it, which I don't think they have, it still doesn't do damage. So, fun stuff.
CLG Red going back to the double op setup, straight out the gates. We've seen this now on all 3 different maps they've played today.
Yeah, we've seen it, but we've seen it kind of spread around at different points. It's gone to different players. Harvey in mid turns her back again, trying to get away, maybe dodge a flashbang that never came, and they are just falling left and right. This is what we had said. This is just like a fast push down mid and B, and they're just not prepared for it. And oops, alt tabbing out. Not sure how that happened, but we'll get right back in the game. And kaboom! Oh wow, perfect timing with the off shot too. I
that was incredible.
That. Yeah, you know, it's a gift.
You never cease to impress me.
I know. I just there are many pieces to the being that is me.
I learned something new every day about you.
Yeah, and some of those pieces are plain and boring, and some are like that really weird one you find in the jigsaw that doesn't make any sense. That's who I am. So it's going to be a save here for the remaining two. Just trying to hold on to the guns that are left in their hands, an AWP and an M4. Seems like right now the T side is content to at least let them keep them. First one going on the hunt is going to be Oxide. He actually loses his life for it, so they're going to be able to hold on to them. Claudia even flashes around the corner just to be safe, but it's 6 rounds now compared to 0. That's right, a big old goose egg for CLG Red after that strong start. And again, the game just decides that alt-tabbing is a thing that's going to happen. Oh, our game crashed that time. So it's great that we don't have a producer here right now.
I can see. Okay, from
he's
it's currently going to be CLG Red going for the cat boost. I can see from Benita's screen. It is going to be her off the M4 with an AWP in the hands of Potter trying to find the angle into lower, but now a bit of attention pulled back towards the A site, and that's my visuals gone.
Yeah, well, our producer finally decided he was going to actually do his job. Oh, man. We'll get right back into the game as soon as we can. We're trying to jump right back in as fast as possible.
Got it.
It's unfortunate, but it is the way that it is. And we're back. I believe we're back. Yeah, we're back in. There's some issues, but we'll fix them between the round. It does come down to a 3-on-3 thanks to this PC's possessed nature. We didn't get to see how it got here, but it's actually CLG Red picking up the kill with an nade to start things off. Miss Harvey now coming out from long, finds both. Great play from her, and that's, again, something we've seen from Miss Harvey a couple times now. Just solid play from her in these retakes.
And her M4 headshots have been getting more and more crisp throughout the day. Crisp. Yes, very crisp.
Okay. Crisp.
Straight out the package.
Crisp. Fresh.
Fresh.
Yeah, organic.
Organic.
They are naturally organic. I mean,
Free
come
trade.
on. Yeah, fair trade.
No, free.
Free? It's completely free?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was fair trade.
That's
You got me
like
again.
that's taking it to a whole new level. Instead of charging money, it's all free.
Double op setup. Again, Buck. Again. In the hands of Potter and Die. So this is actually the setup we saw in Cash as opposed to Mirage, where it's in the hands of Benita playing on Ticket Booth. So it does come down to positioning. Potter will be penalized. Carl Sagan to find the headshot, and that is Potter down and out of the equation here in round number 8. Of course, CLG Red definitely looking to convert some points in order to avoid the economic reset. Die and Harvey chiming in before Velo and Big K can bring it back. One-man advantage here in the favor of Pupper Squad, but here is Oxide waiting cautiously, patiently to find the head of Claudia and leave it all down to Benita.
That was a great move from Potter and Miss Harvey and B. So if you didn't really pick up on it, the whole point of that push is they're getting pushed from mid, and they knew they had players in tons, so they had to get aggressive into B, but they just couldn't. They got those 2 kills. It was just they were so quickly right behind them. So, I mean, it was a good move. Really smart play, trying to just basically force the fight in the weaker direction. It just didn't go their way. So now Benita working in from B tons. AK in hand. Not able to squeeze a shot over top of the Xbox. That angle is so difficult with the AK. She's just going to fall off 5 HP. No real sense going for this one. So it is a save coming in, but they are quickly on the hunt, running straight up towards mid, towards T-spawn. She's got to be careful as they are all on the hunt.
I mean, I think Pupper Squad are just outplaying the style of CLG Red right now. The aggression has been panning out time and time again. Benita also dropped out of that one, so no AK grandfathered into the next one. Of course, we can see the economy here for CLG Red in shambles, but they will be dropping pistols as Die does have a bit of money in the coffers, able to equalize that, spread the wealth, spread the love, and head into round number 9 with at least that in their favor. They've got those P250s. They can at least try to take some off one-and-done angles and just try to, at the very least, deal some damage to Pupper Squad, because unfortunately at this point, it's going to be the fast play. It's going to be Velo to find the first. Potter able to trade frags back, but Die completely flashed, has now been killed, and Harvey coming through the door is also denied. Oxide with the double frag to clear the site, leaving only Claudia and Potter now so far away. So far away.
I mean, they're all the way across the map. They pushed up long. You can see they're starting to work up mid here. Just unfortunate for them. Not really in a position where they can do anything about this one. They got aggro, so at least they got, I mean, one plus is they got an AK, but this is a point now where I really think they need to call for a pause. I think that a tactical pause is much needed here for the side of CLG Red, as they're going to find themselves down 8-1. And I've said before, if there's ever a point in which your opponent gets 7 rounds over top of you, that's when you need to call for a pause. I mean, it's going to be a round coming into this where they're going to be buying, so this is a save. So that round is super important to CLG Red, or it could be like just an absolutely ludicrous one-sided half, like a 14-1 or a 12-3. And there you go. There's the pause. So they were already aware of what was happening. They wisely go for a pause. So they're going to be talking it over here. As DeBears, the coach, recently picked up by CLG Red, they're going to be just talking things over to try and figure out what they need to do. So now we just wait and see what CLG Red is prepping. I know a lot of people would love to hear what's going on right now, but we don't want to give away any secrets. Wouldn't be fair of us to basically give detailed strategic plans of what a team does in their pauses. You can see that, you know, DeBears is in the back. Yeah, he's letting them know what's going on.
I mean, when we did listen into the comms during that cash game, we actually mid-round hear him being quite passive. I believe he only just kind of reassured players of things they know, like they never saw you. That was the one comment he made during the short, brief time we were able to chime in with them. So maybe he is more vocal.
I mean, well,
and
like,
we didn't catch it, but here at least.
When you have players on your team that have like a lot of experience, like they do,
yeah,
like
they don't need to be guided.
Yeah, Miss Harvey and Potter have been playing CS for long enough that they don't really need someone to like tell them what to do all the time. But they do need someone who's there to just kind of like look at it from a third person's perspective. It's always easier to see things from the outside looking in. So the coach brings that perspective, and he's the one that's kind of in charge of calming the team down and bringing them to a different level. And there you can see their coach right there. That would be legendary player and now current caster, DeBears himself.
DeBears.
DeBears. Sausage. Ditka. Apparently, that joke is probably too over people's head. That's old. That's way old. But yeah, I am old.
It's okay.
Yeah.
This round, not aggressive. Pupper Squad's still going to be taking some map presence early on, but not necessarily forcing the engagements to their detriment. So this is smart play. Carl Sagan, again, just applying some pressure, keeping the attention of both Dai and Miss Harvey over towards tunnels. And this is a very aggressive stance, actually, towards B. We saw the two of them push into upper tuns earlier, a couple rounds ago, and it looks with this positioning like they want to do that again. If they were to do it now, they would be making contact with both Carl Sagan and the bomb carrier, Oxide. But here it is. Harvey rounding the corner, takes a shot to the face. Oxide finding two, and Velo chimes in with one as well. Benita able to go 1-for-1 trading inside the mid doors. Fisk keeping an eye out towards long as Claudia attempts this push on out. But these nades could very well be giving her position away, and the B-bomb site plant is secured.
Oops. She tried to throw both those flashbangs over the wall, and she actually flubbed. And as a result, she gave away her position. And Potter tried to just stack up with her to hold down the guns. So the pause did not work, and again, aggression was actually the opposite of what they needed in that situation. They got aggressive, and that's when it cost them bodies. They sent two players on the opposite side of a smoke in B, and then they just sat there and waited. Like, if you're going to do that, you need to, like, lead in with a flash. Put yourselves on the opposite side of that smoke and then push the flash. Push with a flash and see what you find on the opposite side. If you're wanting to, like, force the fight early and play aggressive, then you need to do more than just play. You're basically just playing passively further up. So they're putting the smoke down, and then they just sit on the opposite side. So they're still playing like a passive approach. They're just doing so in a position that they die earlier. It's not really like that aggressive play that I was hoping to see when they started to push into that area.
And it cost them. This round just back down to pistols. Oxide already penalizing with the opening kill here, and it is going to be a fight to the death on the long side of the map. Big K, Carl Sagan, everyone chiming in with kills aplenty here, all in the favor of the Pupper Squad. Both Dai and Miss Harvey now left standing, both of which on opposing sides of the doors in mid. Miss Harvey thinking about coming round for the flank. Oxide already sitting in wait behind those long doors. So at this point, they have long, they have plat, they've got all sorts of control here. Pupper Squad entirely in control of this one, especially versus only two upgraded pistols. Velo to find the head of Harvey, leaving it all down to Dai, who's at this point probably just waiting for exit frags. Maybe, of course, if time ticks down, she'd like to just try to force the issue. Not much to save and more to take away. But at this point, is money even a factor?
Dai does actually do some significant damage there to Fisk, who just hightails it out of there and heads back to the site. Now it's just a matter of time before she gets taken down from the backside. It's actually the Oxide and Velo who come in, trying to switch to those players. Was hitting the wrong buttons. The monitor's a little bit further away from me than I'm used to. Usually it's like glued to my nose.
It's your old age and you're going eyesight.
I know. The only thing that's failing more than my eyesight is Godsend's new roster.
Spitting fire. Damn.
See what I did there?
I did.
That was a joke.
It was a good one.
Yeah. Because they're not doing well either. And old people usually lose their eyes. You see? You get it?
Yeah, I think I do.
Okay.
I do.
I know sometimes we have to explain things a little bit more to you, so I just
Yeah,
want to make sure
I appreciate the effort.
that you get it. Speaking of getting it, it's going to be Benita getting it right to the dome from that push in through the mid. I heard the little nose laugh there from you. As it's going to be down to just 3 here for CLG Red. We're getting a little loopy towards the end of the day. And they're going to be trying to retake, but again, it's just the same problems keep repeating themselves. They're actually in a position where it's a 2-on-3, and at least they can try and fight before the bomb goes down. They don't have a kit, so again, they're in that spot where, like, they're going to have to just, like, kind of run into the site for the retake. They've got to stop this plant. It does go down. The flashbangs again off the mark. The nades just haven't been that great in general the last few rounds from CLG Red, and now it's up to just Miss Harvey in a 1v3 with the bomb planted on the A site.
Now, the one benefit she has going for her is that they haven't realized she's crossed yet. Now, Carl catches her as she jumps across the barrels, but for a moment, she had a window of opportunity. Unfortunately for Miss Harvey, as she does clasp her hands on the windowsill, it is shut down upon her, and she is denied. No frags, no footing, no success. It is all in the favor of the Pupper squad as they do now lead by 10 rounds. 11-1 is the scoreline, ladies and gentlemen, heading into round number 13. CLG Red just looking for something, but again, it is this all-out aggression towards long that fans out into the favor of Pupper squad. 2 frags already here with a minute 40 still on the clock. These rounds are so quick. CLG Red, unfortunately, whether it be their lack of utility, their lack of weaponry, or just their lack of the ability to hold this, somehow, some way, Pupper squad leading the charge.
I mean, this is a repeat of their second Mirage match today, where the CT side was just gone. It wasn't even there. Oh my god. Okay, that's one way you can play the game. Nice recoil control there from Oxide to flick back towards that second body. Great work for the side of Pupper's squad. 12-1. After everything that CLG did in the past map, you know, we expected this one to become, you know, a much more interesting match. Instead, it's just been dominant for the Pupper squad.
This is their match. Potter finally with a bit of an answer here towards long A, able to find the opening kill. Now Claudia incredibly flashed and taking damage. Both Claudia and Potter have been engaged and lit in the process. Now that flashbang will net Velo 2 frags before Claudia is able to trade things back, but again, she is lit, so dropping the bomb carrier is incredibly useful. She now has that in her control. Miss Harvey definitely here has the audio cue on Fisk, who is, of course, on the A site. And then there's Oxide. Excuse me, inversed. Oxide on the site. And with a frag now, dropping down towards CT, spotting Miss Harvey, and now trying to engage with Dai. Dai playing it smart and trying to run, tail between her legs. Falling on back as Oxide tries to push the issue, tries to close the gap, hot on her heels with no success. She is just trying to group up with Claudia, who has now made her way over towards the A site. So again, they have the bomb in their control. It all just does come down to controlling it and positioning around it. But there is a minute here for Oxide to play with.
That flash, actually, if he had peeked out just a second sooner, which it looked like he was going to, he would have caught Claudia throwing that flashbang up and over the wall. A second round, I mean... Count your blessings, I guess. Yeah, he's going for the auto sniper here in the final round. This is pretty much what you would expect to see. He's just going to spam the door, toss away, pick up the AK. I mean, you expect that. And they're just going to work towards B and hope they did the most of the damage there. The nade is down early, and it does a lot of damage to these players pushing in. Fisk is so low, but he still gets the kill regardless. 2 HP as he moves in towards the site. Eventually, he goes down. Dai tries to spin back around. But CLG Red just not prepared for that melee in the B site.
And another one dropped. Oxide just being a thorn in the side of CLG, grabbing a second headshot on towards Benita, and this man is looking for more, but he doesn't nail it. It is Big K to secure the final kill. And in all honesty, you'd think that after having that door spam inside of mid, that the B site strike could very well be anticipated. You do see the nade come out and deal a bunch of damage. Unfortunately for Miss Harvey, she's unable to land what was only needed, a 1-bullet tag to finish him off. She didn't grab it. They came up short again, and now it's 13-2.
Math.
13 is greater than 2.
Yes, it is. Couldn't tell. I know that if you do some crazy things with those numbers, you could maybe get a little bit confused, but
yeah,
that's not going to be the case here. CLG Red moving over to the T side. We talked about this earlier. The T side in general has felt smoother, but just like their match earlier on Mirage, where they were down at a heavy deficit early, how long can they be expected to kind of fight back against the massive mountain of rounds that has formed up for the Pupper squad? And it's not going so well here in the pistol. They seem to be dropping. Crossing and Pro having a hard time there in the B site. Staying alive for so long, but they still haven't managed to get this bomb down, which is the big issue. Big K is coming in on the flank. Oxide's over towards the door. And that smoke on door is actually about to fade in just a second here. It's actually going to be the dive on through, and they're going to go run back towards the A site as they realize Big K is likely coming up from the backside. And he is. Spots them as they go in towards CT, trying to hold the angle, but unfortunately also struggling with the pistol here. So a very peculiar pistol round, to say the least. And Claudia just keeps jumping away as they get this bomb on towards the A site. Oh, goodness. Big K now coming in on the retake from Cat.
Ooh, already he's making contact, and it's Benito with the Ripper to close it out. Round number 3 and the first pistol round of the T side. Or excuse me, the second pistol round for this T side. Going to be victory. So now at this point, of course, like you mentioned, because the mountain to climb is so huge, they have no wiggle room. They have absolutely zero margin of error to work with. So even if they get into the gun round, say even if they lost the pistols or something like that, the moment you lose 1 or 2 rounds, this game is done. Unfortunately for CLG Red, it's not only a comeback of insurmountable odds, but flawless odds at this point, because it needs to be perfect. They can't give anything up. Claudia finding 1 will at least get the ball rolling in the favor of CLG Red. 2 players also damaged at the time being, Fisk and Oxide taking some, but Velo able to bring it back with the Juan D. Carl Sagan now trying to do the same off the back of the 5-7, but it is Miss Harvey and Claudia to clean up long and start the push towards A.
There you go, another round for CLG Red, so they're working their way back through it. But they've got to do it so many more times. They're down 9. That was the force buy from the CT side, so they went with the armor pistol approach, which means this one will be a little bit easier for CLG Red to work through. It'll be 13-5 before the Pupper squad is able to afford a buy. So Potter and company just working fast towards B. Looks like they just want to punish them with the same strategy that worked so well for the Pupper squad, which is that fast B play. However, it's just going to be a fight in towards B. An onslaught of bullets coming in from the pistols. As they work their way through the doors, they do drop 1. But at this point, it's all kind of stalled. And yeah, there you go. Nice catch. Oxide gets slumped in the window. 13-5 is going to be the scoreline, and they only lose 1 player on the push. So it looked like it could have been a little bit scary there, but in the end, not so much so.
The thing is, if CLG Red have a realistic chance of coming into this, they need to make sure that the rounds they win are incredibly convincing. When you lose a round, okay, fine. But if you don't have money to fall back into, then they won't even have the chance. Because a single save round will cost them the game. They don't have the chance to save. It will be buys all the way to the bank at this point. And so the more cash they have, the better. Because if they have to bounce back from some sort of round loss, they need to do it in a healthy manner. AWP in the hands of Potter. This is nice. This is the only op currently in the round. Miss Harvey getting a little nosy here towards mid, trying to feel out the defense of the Pupper squad, which currently comes in the form of Oxide boosted up inside of CT spawn, and then 2 players allocated to each site. A player's a little split, as they do have Big K over towards pit, and he's going to be trying to keep Benita at bay as she just holds the line for CLG Red. Now, CLG Red is doing kind of the same thing, the standard T side setup, with 1 player watching the extremities of each side, and then that cat emphasis coming potentially towards the A site.
Oxide right now on top of the double stack in CT spawn, looking for the push from mid. They got a pretty good presence here for mid from the CT side. However, their A presence is definitely a little bit lackluster. And it looks like they're just going to be prepping for the take in just a minute. Miss Harvey already priming up the smoke. They're about to throw him probably about 40 seconds, I'd say. They're going to go for it, and there you go. There's the call. Smoke's up and over. That's for CT. The flashbangs are there as well, and they're going to drop in towards CT. That gives them the ability to play towards long a little bit as well and wrap this player who's over towards the ramp. Great move from CLG Red. They have to be careful, though. It's not been common that they push smokes, but they're definitely willing to do so. Oxide flirting with the idea of doing so, and he actually puts a lot of damage onto Miss Harvey playing towards the dumpsters. He's spotting damage to Miss Harvey left and right through this smoke. Does heaps of it eventually. There's Carl Sagan, bro, pushing through the smoke on catwalk. Fist coming up from long. Might spot the player who is lit. That would be Benita dropping. It's down to 2 players with full HP and 1 pretty tagged up. That would be Potter with the op as the push continues here for the CT side.
And Dai's got a good spot here for the bomb plant. Her positioning could be unrevealed, but currently they will be relying on the peek from Cat. Dai waiting patiently, and she goes wide for the peek here as Claudia is able to find the first frag. Fisk falling away, will escape with his life, will escape with the M4. 3 players for the side of CLG Red still kicking at the end of this one. So they do grab themselves a 6th round. Thus far, their T side has been incredibly successful. But now they're versus rifles.
Yeah.
Excuse me, no. That's the one rifle of Fisk. So
yeah.
they're not versus rifles, which means things are looking even better for CLG Red.
Fisk in towards CT spawn. Trying to just cross towards mid. He's afraid of that op. And because of the lack of bodies crossing, it's a pretty fast move to push up in towards this B site. Miss Harvey has to come up big here. It's going to be Fisk working in from lower tons, and that's the rifle down. In towards the site, though, the pistols continue on. Jump peeking and looking over top of smokes. Dai's going to just send that nade sailing up into the window. Doesn't really do as much damage as you would expect. The second one to follow up also doesn't do as much as you would think. But the bodies are falling left and right. Potter was watching the flank all the way back in towards T-spawn. And now the last two, just wondering what they can really do at this point. Oxide's going to try and get himself in towards the window, just looking to do some damage with that CZ75. Maybe catch somebody shooting a little bit prematurely. But very patient play here as the name of the game for CLG Red. They do manage to pick themselves up an AK, but Velo is being flanked from mid. Claudia sending shots through already. Flashbang up and over the wall. Velo is not even going to get flashed by, just playing close. So another kill there for them in this situation. They do drop a couple of bodies. But CLG Red still pick up the round regardless. They're now down 6. So it was 13-2 at half.
Yep.
And CLG Red have now won 5 straight.
But a taller task is now at hand. They've got themselves versus the weapons here for the side of the Pupper squad. An op in the hands of Velo, 4 M4s across the board and plenty of nades, but already we've got Fisk sitting at 37 points of health, tagged on the cross. Potter not finding frags, but at least dealing damage.
Oxide sitting again in that same spot on the boost box in CT spawn. Smokes out. Going to make it a little bit harder for him to really work with this position, but there you go. Spots the first one up and over. The flashbang is on point as well. They're just getting mowed down. Like you had said, the buy was all it was going to take here for the CT side, and it's basically just a shutdown round. Not a single player dies, and not even enough damage to even, equal 1 death. They didn't even do 100 damage to all of the players left standing. So that was a very one-sided round for the Pupper squad. And well, like we had said, they're so close to the finish line that they can afford to just like win 1 round and drop 3.
Yeah,
because of the fact that it's just a matter of time before they find that magical number 16.
And the thing in this case is that luckily for CLG Red, they were able to win so many rounds in a row that they come back into this one with a healthy buy. I had kind of hoped that up. That's what they needed, and it's what they've got. Now Oxide finding only 1 before it is Dai to deny, but Big K traded once again, and the kills going into the favor of Pupper squad. It is all down to just Potter. 1 versus 3 with the op in hand. She will be pushed, but it's Carl Sagan to escape with her life. Potter as well. Until the nade lands.
You're like, oh no! Like, I almost waited for you to like pass out from just getting higher and higher with that. Yeah, they pushed through that molly. That is unfortunate. So that's like the 18th time that's happened today. Thanks, Counter-Strike. So
here we've got it. We've got it. All right. So here we've got holding lower. Oh, there's the first one. It's going to be Velo to take down Miss Harvey. An aggressive peek through the doors, and as he falls on back, it's the 1-player advantage here for the side of Pupper squad, as well as the long push. You can see it here on the second monitor already. The CT is now starting to rotate back towards CT, back towards B, trying to figure out where the offense is, just as we are.
Yeah, we're getting back in the game, and we're in. So, sorry about that. What can we do? It is going to be a 4-on-3 in favor of Le Puppers. As CLG Red tried to continue to get control of Long, wandering right into Oxide's sights. He's not really prepared for that player already wrapping around the pit. The double smoke setup means that they can just get pit control and work this to a T. Oh, Claudia! No, not like this, Claudia! Just gets a little bit overzealous with the AK, and now it's all on Potter, your 7 HP. And the Puppers are going to wolf their way on to that second map victory. So now we get to move in towards map 3. And map 3 is?
Train.
So that one's going to be interesting.
Incredibly interesting, because, I mean, we mentioned how the CT sides of CLG Red were kind of questionable, at least on Mirage. On Cash, that wasn't the case. I see a
Yeah.
look.
No, on Cash, their CT side was great.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
but on
then,
Mirage, their CT side was weak.
exactly.
on
And then
Dust
here
2,
on
their
Dust
CT side
2, it
weak.
was abysmal.
Yeah.
Now on Train, obviously a map that can be very much one-sided if you have a CT team who gets that early momentum, who's able to find a lot of opening rounds. Again, if you can get the early victories with very little minimal losses and you get that bank rolling, this is a map where the double op setup is actually very popular, very viable. So we've seen CLG Red play double ops all day long across Dust 2, Cash, and Mirage. If they don't pull it out next on Train, I will be absolutely speechless.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be the show of the ops.
Yes.
Bello's been picking it up for his team. Harvey, or not Harvey, it's been Dai, Benita, and Potter who have all locked it down.
Potter
at one point in time
dedicated,
for CLG.
swapping between the two.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and take a break. Hopefully there will be no issues before we move into map 3. But, you know, fire, hurricane, tornado, anything can happen here at Fragadelphia 9. Bach and Scrawny bringing you the action. We'll be back in a bit.
Personalize the way you see everything, and then conquer. Exclusive Black Equalizer brightens dark scenes without overexposing bright areas. Use the S-switch to quickly access the setting and switch between save modes. Adjust the angle effortlessly for maximum comfort.
After telling you so long, I'm still here, baby. After saying that I'd be gone, I'm still here. After telling you so long, I'm still here, baby. After saying that I'd be gone, you're right here to kiss me when I want some. Oh yeah, you're right here to hold me when I need someone to win. You're right here to kiss me when I want some. Oh yeah, your love don't resist me for your need, and I'm so glad that This is your life. This is your life.
You know my sticky D in here. Niggas get on the square if they fucking yeah. But your girl just move to the joint in the club, in the car, the groove. The rumor is on. Now bad in mind, the story is on.
It's
die to Glock. All right, looks like we're back for more of CLG Red versus. Oh, you got to unmute your mic there.
So
What'd you
disappointing.
say?
I was going to say Zapapa Squad.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
What map are they on?
Train.
That is also correct, and I could hear you too.
Two for
good.
two.
Yeah, firing on all cylinders over here. So we may have missed a little bit of the action as we were getting into things. We missed the knife round. And my assumption is that CLG Red won the knife round because they did pick the CT side. And there is a knife round here. There weren't knives on the previous two maps because it's pick and then veto and then pick side, that whole thing. So you get your side choice on your opponent's pick. But because this is the third and random map, it comes down to the knife. So smoke's down for the B push, but it's actually a bit of a fake here as the bomb has already moved up towards Ivy. There's still two players here for CLG Red. If Benita peeks out a little bit wide, she's going to spot him, and there's the first one. Dai is in a great spot to shut them down, but only gets one as well. Oh. Claudio with the great one-tap, clotheslining the last player on Ivy. That's the bomb down. But the CTs can't rotate back to support her due to the positions of the players in this B site.
Oh, now Potter's just going to have to be ever so cautious here. Oxide walks by and she waits. The trigger discipline on point. She hears the second stop. She knows she's between the two of them, but she shoots towards Oxide, manages to find the kill after a bit of a scary miss. And still it is the one-player advantage here in favor of CLG Red with the bomb firmly in their grasp. Now Velo, this man has been on fire today. He's had some crazy nutty plays, and now it's a 1 versus 2. Of course, it's the pistol. It takes 2 shots, 2 headshots. Potter with the defuse kit, if worse comes to worse, but the time is playing against Velo right now. There is only 30 seconds, and quite honestly, CLG Red not necessarily in good positions to play trades here. If Velo's able to find 1-1v1, he could make this happen, but he is denied, and it will be CLG Red back into their groove of winning the pistol rounds.
Yeah, they've been picking up the CT pistol rounds for the most part.
Yes.
What is that, 3 for 2? 3 and 2? Not 3 for 2. 3 and 2? It's a long day, man.
3 and 2 is their
3
record.
and 2, yeah. So they won 3 pistol rounds. This is on their, yeah, I think that's right. So even if we're wrong, I don't even care anymore. Right?
I still care.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Our producer's starting to sing Papa Roach. It's pretty much the appropriate song for the day. Bomb is going to storm on out onto the B site, though, and Harvey unable to stop it, so it's going to be post-plant here. Should be relatively easy for them to get back into the site, even though it is Tech 9's, the long-range duels that can occur on a map like Train definitely seem to work out well with the rifles, but it is some pretty heavy damage here to the T side, or CT side for that matter. They are able to get that bomb defused, though, and they survive with 3 bodies as well.
Decent. They lose 2 in the process, of course, but heck, it's better than the clean sweep and better than losing that second round upset. So now the third one should be a great opportunity for CLG Red to continue the bankroll, make a bit of cash here, because of course there is no bomb plant for Pupper Squad to go into that round 3 AK buy with. Instead, we're going to have the CZ75 double P250 and a Huandig to boot. Pistols aplenty here for the side of Pupper's squad as they do attempt what looks like a very fast Ivy push. Now, if they actually manage to also split out A main, as they have Oxide here, he's going to be grabbing the attentions of the CTs. Meanwhile, 4 players pushing out from Ivy, and immediately they're behind them. Benita only able to grab 2. Big K driving back. Die also grabbing 1 before Claudia and Potter clean things up with ease. Again, a round for CLG with not too much of a loss. Only 1 player down and out of that one as they head forward into the gun rounds.
So here comes the A to BP purchase by Potter. Something we kind of anticipated. Whoa, didn't mean to do that. Potter. Let's see where she decides to take it. Probably just going to head towards Z connector. Try and spot him as they cross from the blue. Or towards blue. Just holding that crack. No one's going to peek it. No challenge coming in from the T side. Not really much of a surprise there, given that there is no A to BP in play. And I'm going to freak out. Can we please get a switch back to the pregame screen, producer man? Or... there it is.
Alrighty, so there it is. Velo bringing 1 back and Big K with a second headshot. It is the 3v3 here, trying to fight for the A site. Bomb as well working its way, and now it's been planted, so the 42nd after plant and the after plant position secured. But Benito with another frag, suddenly taking this one back. 1 player advantage here for CLG. Zooming in, of course, upon all our multiple screens, it will be Benito with another. Carl Sagan going wide to trade things back, and the second one doesn't connect. Miss Harvey to find the final frag, and CLG Red managed to mitigate the very first rifle round. I think we're making the best of this.
I'm going to stare through my eyebrows a lot today. I already have done it a lot. But I guess, hey, we're back in. So, yay. The op is still in play here. Oh. There, yeah. We know we're on camera, by the way. We know.
Yeah.
We're fully aware of the situation here. So.
Yeah.
This is the power right now. And this is our hopes of finishing on time. I'm not going to connect the two, but you know what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it's more like this. It's more like this. our hopes of finishing on time is like a Cheerio right now. We just are not having a great time with this one. So let's go ahead and throw it to a break. You guys are more than familiar with our pregame screen. I can't even speak. Our pregame. Oh my God! Screw it. I'm done.
Would you like me to try? Pre-game screen. Until, of course, we do return, which is inevitable because, ladies and gentlemen, this best of 3 just will not finish. Again, guys, it's the power issues. We'll find the solution. We're trying our best here, but we're dealing with it day by day, time at a time. Don't go too far. Box gone, but I'm still here.
I'm missing you.
Hi, I'm Steven Sasquatch Chicos, and you're watching Fragadelphia. Fragadelphia.
Fragadelphia.
Left your mark in a distant past, but somehow it's all gone now. Good things can never last. You are down for the third time, and you spent your change. Memories of your prime make life seem so strange.
Hi, I'm Steven Sasquatch Chicos, and you're watching Fragadelphia. Fragadelphia.
a man-eater, man.
We held that for a while.
Yeah, that was nice.
I was trying to see how long we could do it before people would think like, oh no, the stream froze. Refresh, refresh. You know what we need? We need you to come up with a troll buffering wheel GIF that we can put in the center of the stream.
Yeah.
So we can just hold and see how many people fall for it. We also, unfortunately, lost our game again. So, like the millionth time today. That is insane. It is insane. You know what's even more insane?
What up?
We were reloading the game again.
Yeah.
So, that's insane. It has been an interesting day. Yes. Sometimes that is the case. This time I don't think it's going to be the case. It looks like it's going to be a buy round. It looks like we're live.
Let's go.
There's actually CS to watch. How about that? Who'da thunk it? And play is underway here. It will be CLG Red on the CT side, and they've been off to a hot start here. 4 rounds in the kitty. Miss Harvey back behind the bomb train, and the bomb slowly working its way towards the box halls. She's going to be tasked with stopping them on this B site push. Smoke's likely to come down. Flash to follow. Here's the Molotov counter, though, from Miss Harvey, and a nade as well. Should do pretty good damage here.
Ooh.
Ouch! I'm not even gonna. No, there's like a game. Yeah. So that's Counter-Strike there. If you haven't seen it before, get used to it. It actually is pretty cool. It's a great game when it works, and it doesn't often, but when it does work, it's really awesome. Yeah, there's 1Z apparently. I can hear that from the background.
I cry every time.
I've cried numerous times today. Go ahead, you can cast it. You're a young blood.
The T side
Still
have
got
won a
some,
run.
you know, energy left.
All
in
right,
that
you know what?
soul.
Let's pick it up. Let's pick it up. I still have a career to salvage.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm well past my prime. I'm just like, I'm waiting to be shot. I'm that
Alrighty.
horse with a broken leg that's like, they keep nursing me, hoping it's gonna fix. It's not gonna fix. Tie me to a tree and put me out of my misery.
Pupper squad, back to the T side. Looks like that B site emphasis. And now we're back on into it. For now, Miss Harvey going to be making contact out towards the brown halls. She's the first casualty of the round as Big K opens up the doors to success, potentially towards that B site. But again, now, there is nobody for CLG Red until they rotate 2 on over. Claudia and Potter naturally rotating towards the B site. Of course, now they don't know who or what exactly is inbound. Of course, with a volley of nades towards the A site as well, that does pull Claudia back from Z connector and opens the door wide for the B site strike. But Potter closes it firmly down upon Fisk as she lands the op shot and takes this one back to the 4v4. Claudia trying to let some lead through the smoke, and yet no damage dealt. 4 AKs still up for the side of the Pupper squad, but nades beginning to dwindle as Oxide and Velo combine forces to grab another 2 kills.
Benita closing in towards this bomb train. One on the opposite side towards the bomb itself. Oh, Oxide just ducks behind the train and finds cover for a short period of time. There's the Molotov on top of the bomb. Benita has no choice but to take the fight, and she does!
Oh!
Both players going to get caught off guard, and she's got time as well. Wow. How does that work in that manner? I mean, the one player is just reeling, hoping to get around the corner. Just does not spin around in time. And around that very likely should have been the Puppers ends up falling back into the grasp of CLG Red. Compliments of a 4K from Benita.
Benita was in need of a 2K.
Benita and Nita.
And she
I see
nailed
what you
it.
did there. That's rhyming.
It is.
Yes, Dr. Seuss. Good job.
Back into this one, CLG Red with a bit of an unorthodox weapon lineup. We got a P90, we got a Mag 7. Of course, depending on the positioning of Miss Harvey, right outside this ramp, an incredibly viable position if they decide to push on down. But for the time being, it's only Carl Sagan, bro, over in that direction. Of course, Velo and a bit of a squad here trying to at least play it out in the same direction. Miss Harvey with the opening headshot, though, to deny that entry. 4 players now for the side of Pupper squad, starting to close the distance towards the A site. Big K needs to cover Fisk because he's trying to get that bomb in, and he has successfully nailed it as Oxide and Velo do grab 2. Die and Claudia Potter combine to bring it back at least to the 1-player advantage here for CLG Red. Potter incredibly tagged down to 25 with a smoke in hand and a flash on Harvey. But remember, the Mag 7, definitely not a viable option, and especially as Velo rips the heads from her shoulders. Miss Harvey hits the dirt, and Potter attempts to close the distance, but Velo with the Deegs is securing rounds for the Pupper squad. Straight into number 2, regardless of their bye that round.
It's a 4K with the Deagle, no less. Now, he gets the kills with the deagle to start the round, but then he just sticks with the deagle. He never at any point upgrades from the hand cannon. He just keeps working it with the deagle. And really, it was just good positioning from him. There really wasn't much trade-out opportunity there for CLG. So unfortunately for them, they do surrender the round. And as a result, it's pistol time. They're just going to be running in towards the box halls and towards white halls as well, and they do get a little bit of action going. The first kill goes their way, and a second to follow, and that's the bomb. So at the very least, they have control of that, but for how much longer? I mean, Claudia's getting pushed from multiple angles at this point. There's the pop flash. Oh, she walks right into a nade. Just eats it down to 10 HP. Almost finishes off the kill on Develo, but it's still the round for the Pups. And they actually are hitting a pretty good spot with their money, too, because of the fact that that round they won was on an eco. They've got 9K on some of these players, whereas CLG Red is left to scrap together this sort of weaselly little buy. I hate saying quasi-buy, but I mean, that's what it is. It's double scout, and it's just then pistols with no armor. So they're going to try and use the scouts to sit in the back lines and then hope that the pistols can finish them off.
Did they bottom out their economy, or are they just rounding things off right now? Rounding it off.
They're just rounding things
off.
All
right, makes sense.
I mean, Benita's sitting towards the top of the scoreboard, so.
And now she's dusted. Dropped out of the round already. Trading back to Velo for 70 points of damage, but it is still the opening pick here for the side of the Pupper squad, and the initial advantage as Miss Harvey does chime in with a frag of her own. That's going to bring things back, potentially only for a moment. Claudia now extending the lead, and Potter off the scout. This purchase from CLG Red is working wonders versus Pupper squad, who are now down to only 2 remaining. They have retrieved an op as well in the hands of Miss Harvey to combine forces with the double scout and still the 5-7 of Claudia. Big K, and I was going to say Fisk, but now he's dead too. So Big K with only a few bits of utility, and AK in a 1v4 here, trying to close the distance, but Tag, they know where he is, 18 points of health. CLG have managed to use that quasi-buy to find themselves around, and Pupper squad denied. Coming up short.
Great work there from CLG working with just the pistols. And, you know, it was just a solid, like, kind of mixed buy. I don't really know what to call it. I just hate using the word quasi-buy. What?
A curb buy. That's what I call it.
I've heard it
curb
called
your economy.
I've heard it called the kitchen sink buy, when it's like you just throw everything into the kitchen sink. But that wasn't what that was. Or you throw everything in, including the kitchen sink. That was different, though. Like you had said, like they were just rounding things off. They were balancing the checkbook. It wasn't like they were trying to go crazy. They just realized they had a few players who had a little bit more money. So they kind of balance the scales and put themselves back on an even keel. And now they've started out strong. Compliments of Potter's op. They picked up 2 kills early in the round. Oxide and Fisk both dropping. Fisk has yet to find a kill. 0-9.
Yikes.
Yikes indeed. I feel like that's wrong, but who am I to judge? 3 players left standing here for the Puppers. Big K, Velo, and Carl Sigenbro trying to regroup and potentially work towards T-Connector. And that's a big pick to start things off. The top fragger for CLG Red, Benita, is down.
Yep, that's exactly it. That weakens up, at least for a bit, softening the defense on the A site. Currently, CLG Red continuing with this 2-2 commitment. On the plus side, you've got Potter in the back lanes, waiting to try and find a pick on towards the opper from Pupper squad Velo, who did, of course, create the initial opening here towards A. At the same time, Potter starting to round the corner, takes a shot to the dome, but it's not enough to stop this train. Potter with another frag to Carl Sagan, 4v2 now favoring CLG Red, and you do start to see Pupper squad starting to pick up the pace here, already within the trains, heading towards that A site. Velo with another frag, dropping die, and now forcing the rotation from CLG Red to head out through the Z connector. Bomb planted from Big K, dealt again by Potter. 4K in the round, and she's looking for the ace as Velo attempts to do the same. He grabs a 3K, only 2 to work with, but Potter missing shots. Still a 2v1.
Velo now repositioning with the op. Not worth it to risk that, ace opportunity. They just needed to hold on to the guns. They're going to go for the double op approach as well, so not the first time we've seen it today. The question is, who gets it this time? Will it be Dai? Will it be Benita? They're juggling the guns around. It will be Benita picking up the op here. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Wow, wow, wow. You know what that is?
That's just wasted money right there. If you couldn't tell, they bought an extra gun. Oopsie daisy. Those are the kind of things that can hurt you in the long run. Nice shot from Benita here from the top of the train, but she's got to be careful. They're pushing from both angles. She's got no support. That player just peeks out from between the green and blue trains and just knocks her down. Molotov to push the players back, but they continue this fight, pushing on towards the site. Finally, that lead man. That was Oxide goes down. Now it's all up to Velo again here in a 1vx situation. Molotov is down. It's just a little bit behind him, but it scares him out of position anyway. And CLG Red just kind of waltz in towards that 8th round.
That's a nice round from CLG Red in the sense that what they have been struggling with thus far tonight, or today rather, was those aggressive pushes. And this time we do see Pupper Squad try to take the distance. You see Benita on top of the trains trying to dodge out after finding that first pick. And normally when you see that Opper die, that generally tends to be sometimes when Pupper Squad would be able to create an opening. But this time, they handle the situation. They slow it down, they use their rifles accordingly, and they do manage to find themselves into the 8th round. Nice stuff here from CLG Red. To bring it back to the double op setup, Die going to be dying inside of the ladder room. Claudia in a very difficult position, but at least going to be grabbing one before Fisk trades out accordingly. 3 versus 4 in the favor of the Pupper Squad as they do start to bombard the A site. Benita with an op shot to drop Fisk, but the bomb plant quite secured here. It is just down to Oxide and Carl Sagan after plant positioning in their favor. But Miss Harvey taken down from the flank, never saw Oxide get behind her, and now Carl Sagan grabbing a frag as well to leave Potter in a 1v2.
Bomb is not really planted well for Potter here. She's going to throw down the smoke and try and bait this player out of the Z connector. Oh, she almost wanted to stick it there for a second, and she actually might have been able to. It was just a little bit too far away. And not only that, with the player behind her, it was unlikely she was going to be able to stick it for too long. So the Puppers pick up a round, but the CT side of CLG Red still has plenty of money to buy. Kind of interesting round trading going on here. And a lot of bomb plants coming in for the Puppers. 4 in the rounds that they've lost. So 50% of the rounds that they have surrendered to CLG Red, they've been able to get that $800 bomb plant bonus. And site control, it's been the retakes from CLG Red that have been on point. Most notoriously was that 1v2 where it was Benita who just climbed up the ladder after the bomb was Molotoved on the B site and killed both players trying to reel back towards the box halls. We've seen that stuff like that happen multiple times for CLG Red. And as a result, that's why they find themselves with the double up lead. 4 rounds over their opponent. And a slow approach here from the Puppers. Something that, at least from what we've seen today from CLG Red, has not worked well for their opponents. Typically speaking, it was the fast approaches that have worked well against the female team of CLG Red. They've been pretty solid against the slow approach.
This time, Big K going to be rounding the corner. Doesn't check it as Benita grabs the double. Carl able to trade things back, and immediately you see the eliciting push coming in from Pupper out from that T-Con. Meanwhile, however, they do still have Velo who needs to work his way down from that ladder. Die, dropped as Oxide from within the train sites is able to grab another one. But Potter, again with this AWP, is going to be putting a chink in the armor of Pupper Squad. 3v2 here, Block. 2v2 now. Oxide with a very quick headshot, ripping the head off of Claudia. But the bomb in the sights of Potter.
There you go. Great shot from Potter following up from Ivy. Oh, just dodging that shot, but she doesn't know where it came from yet. Now she knows. Top of green train is going to be the call. Miss Harvey's going to chime in from Z connector. Perfect timing there. And it's a good hold again towards the end of the round. That's where things have seemed to be CLG's game, is the late round scenarios. And as a result, the Pupper Squad not really left with much cast. Pistol's going to be tossed out here from Carl Sagan, trying to field at least a bit of a buy. Again, Fisk struggling here. I don't want to highlight individual performance because it's not always the most important, but he has been very present in the previous maps for the Pupper Squad. But here he's just really struggling. We'll see if that continues to be a problem, but it's going to be this pistol round right into the trap that Benita has set over towards Ivy. Got to find 3. Last one there is Carl Sagan, and she finds herself an empty M4. And that's really not going to be much help to her. It's a 3-2 split hold there, the full house hold from the CT side of CLG Red. Claudia and Benita locking it down.
And now we found ourselves in the last round of the CT side for CLG Red. Now, considering, of course, the amount of bomb plants, as you mentioned, Block, that Pupper Squad have been able to grab, considering, of course, that they do already have 4 rounds here, CLG Red have done a very good job of at least grabbing this scoreline so far. There have been times where all of a sudden it looked like Pupper Squad could come back with a huge amount of momentum, but they have been cut down short, as is Potter in round 15. It's already Velo and Big K to combine forces, all down to Harvey's hold, and she finds the first, but it's Fisk to trade things out, and he gets the kill when it matters most. Suddenly, of course, the B-site strike is still inbound. Coming in from Upper, it's going to be 3v2. CLG Red, minute and 20 on the clock. Bomb drop not planted on that B-site, and this one's up to the last two players. Still trying to play as they do have a flank coming in from the direction of the A site. Now Brown Hall's just making some noise, trying to keep their attention. Again, they need to work away from this bomb. They need to come back into the site in order to find the entry. But coming down from the bottom of ramp, all on his lonesome, spotting the players into the back. This allows for the flank to come. As long as he keeps the attention, Velo could be winning this round. He grabs a second and a third. Pupper squad able to lail it, all thanks to Velo's 4K in the final round. That one was hot. And Buck is mad.
Yo, whose computer is that keeps crashing? Who brought the computer that keeps crashing? Whose is it?
I don't know. I don't know whose computer
Whose
this
is it?
But it's a real piece of crap.
I think his name's Bach.
No, it's not mine. I would never own such a piece of garbage.
Is this God?
I think God's talking to us. I hope that the stream can hear God, because otherwise I might be crazy. Yeah, so we apologize for my dumpster PC. To be fair, it was a pretty good dumpster find. I mean, it still worked, but now it's starting to show its age. Looks like it's going to be a B take here for CLG Red. They've got a tremendous lead moving into the second half, doubling up the rounds for the Puppers. But it is the CT-sided map of Train, and this is where they need to set that pace as they smoke out from lower and the flashbang to follow. They're just going to try and get that bomb down. They've got a ton of bodies down on this B site, but they still haven't even planted yet. They're just trying to strike the players who are close on this site down, and they're having a bit of a mixed result here. But the exchanges definitely seem to be going the way of CLG Red. Die, unfortunately, trapped on site back behind the Pop Dog Train. The rest of her team retreats towards the box halls, and this is the control situation they wanted. Oh, that's not really how you want that one to go. Die catches one at the back of the dome. The rest of the team just wasn't even really able to give her that call, but it doesn't matter anyway. Die offers herself up as a sacrifice for the greater good, and CLG Red pick up the pistol round and now give themselves that ability to push to the finish line.
They can taste it. They can taste victory.
Can you taste victory?
I think I do.
What's it taste like?
Triumph.
That was not the answer I was looking for.
Sorry.
I wanted an actual taste. Is it umami? I know that's a word. Die gonna get that first kill for CLG Red, working her way out of T connector. Potter with the scout, training it over towards the back of Ivy. But that player's not gonna peek just yet. Jumping around actually takes pretty significant damage there, considering that was just falling off the train, not dropping her down to 23. That wasn't all from the train fall, but considering she's low on HP, any damage she would take in that situation is gonna hurt a little bit. But they're going to regroup and head towards this B site where it's all up to Big K. He's on the site. He gets the first one with the 5-7. Still back behind the bomb train. Only took 3 damage from the lead player. Miss Harvey trying to strike this player down. Eventually, they do eliminate him. Nade towards the back of site, and the bomb will be planted. So it's up to Carl Saganbro and Fisk to come in on the retake from the back of the bomb yard.
And in all realisticness here, the HP on the side of CLG Red is not going to be favoring them. Both Potter and Claudia incredibly lit. Harvey still at least with some HP, but Carl Sagan closing the distance does tag Claudia down. Fisk clearing her out before Miss Harvey gets the trade. So 2 players up for CLG Red at the end of that round. They will move forward at the scoreline of 12-5. Now the problem for Pupper Squad is, even though the score that they grabbed on their T side wasn't half bad, losing the pistols when CLG Red didn't on CT side immediately takes that wiggle room they had and cuts it in half. Heading into the rifles, they're going to have a damn near flawless half for the rest of it because they've used that window of opportunity. They've used their margin of error. It has been expended, and now this time it will be Fisk and Velo to find 2. Suddenly, we have a man advantage for the side of Pupper Squad. Of course, the AKs and utility of CLG Red can definitely overcome that one-man advantage considering what they're equipped with. But it all does come down to trading effectively, staying alive, and ensuring that Pupper Squad do not somehow, someway upset in this round. Benita creating space over here towards the A site, while meanwhile, Pupper Squad has rotated 3 players towards B. They do still have Big K inside the Z connector, coming back to check out on the A site, but now he too is spotted, and Benita creating more space here with a second frag towards the A site. Bomb sniffing around, thinking about closing the distance, but they want to be thorough with their clearing of the site, and they do still have 50 seconds to play with.
Yeah, I like the approach there too. Molotoving towards the boxes on the bomb train. Good move, not wanting to overextend this push. Finally, they see both players, so they know one's back towards the old bomb and one's in Z connector, and for whatever reason, they're just not going to fight this. They're going to go over towards B, forcing those pistols to fight at ridiculous range with the USP and the P2K. It's not going to be the greatest battle. So there you go. The bomb's planted on B, and now they can really prevent this push because they have the AK, so just a few bullets is going to send their recoil flying. Oxide, the last man standing with the P2K, peeking towards the back of sight. Another round for CLG Red, as they've now increased the lead to 8. But it will be the first buy coming in for Pupper Squad here in the second half. And pretty much it's for all the marbles. Losing this one would really put CLG Red in towards the finish line. I mean, Pupper Squad really wouldn't have much left to fight with.
And unfortunately for Pupper Squad, just because of the economy they have coming into this one, they only are able to afford a single frag grenade. Sure, they have their smokes, they have their flashes for an execute, which is nice, but when it comes down to dealing damage, they're going to have to rely on their guns, and they don't have an AWP, nor do they have more than one kit. So affording to lose the site is not something they want to give up, especially as they don't have money to rebuy in the following round. Die with the first headshot towards Fisk, and it will be Oxide with a double. That's a beauty of a frag before Die does bring it back slightly for the favor of CLG Red as they sit in the 3v3. Still, however, the bomb is down firmly in the sights of Pupper Squad, and Big K with a nice position as Carl Sagan takes the advantage back. Big K's angle catching Die off guard, and Potter tasked with the 1v3.
One in Z connector, one on bomb, and one old bomb as well. Potter's going to be able to cross back towards the ladder. There's the big flashbang coming in from the back of the bomb train. Carl Sagan should be able to spot Potter. Jekyll peeking over towards the ladder, and I think the call has been made. Just looking for the intel, and there you go. Carl Sagan pops her head out and takes down Potter. So a good round there. It actually was looking really good for CLG Red for a bit, but they just sort of floundered out when that bomb dropped towards Z connector. They never did anything with it, and they allowed the CTs to get in too good of position before they were able to try and get back up on it and regain control of the site. And as a result, somehow, some way, CLG Red, after losing or winning 3 rounds and only losing 1, they're right down to the pistols. So a tremendous opportunity here for the Puppers, but they need to pounce, and they need to do it quickly. They can't afford to lose a lot of gun here. This needs to be a very one-sided round.
Already a bit of map control grabbed by Potter as she has made her way out from T-Con, but Oxide finding 1 kill before it's traded back yet again.
I really can't even believe this is happening. This is like 14 million times today, I feel like. That's not even exaggeration. That's actually the number of times this has happened.
That was a sick no-scope. Velo grabbing 1. And now it's the Puppers still alive. Round number 7 grabbed by them. We are 20 rounds deep, ladies and gentlemen, and CLG Red have yet to close this one out. Another chance being given to the Puppers as they clearly do retake that A site.
So we missed another round. How about that? If anyone has gasoline and a lighter, please let me know. And I would happily borrow it from you. I'll return it. Well, I mean, some of it.
Some of it.
I'll return some of it. I don't need much gasoline, just a little bit. I like the idea here from the side of the Puppers getting aggressive towards Ivy. They push the fight early, but realize it's not worth it to stick around too long. And they're actually going to go for a boost up here. We'll see if Benitez can spot the player up on top. Works out pretty nicely there for Fisk. Die wants to continue the fight here, but the smoke is down, and that's basically the end of that situation. So good early kills coming in from the Pupper Squad, and they were completely untradeable kills as well. So CLG not really able to respond to either of those.
3v5. Very nicely grabbed by Pupper Squad. Bomb trying to work its way towards the Brown Halls, which of the 2 sites would be the better one to head towards. It is just Big K within the train yard, in the inner yard, excuse me. Waiting patiently, cautiously, trying to find an angle. And this is a nice one because obviously if did he spot the leg?
I don't know.
Regardless if he saw it or not, Potter's going to grab a frag towards Velo, who did rotate over. Big K again up close and personal, and he's going to grab 1, looking for a second, dropping down towards the Brown Halls. Yet again, Potter attempting to reel backwards and escape with her life. She grabs another headshot. That's now 2, but there's 3 players left, and all it takes is a single round from Big K's AK to take her down.
Some more pistol play for CLG here, as they've been struggling the last few rounds to try and get any sort of bomb site control. Ever since the CTs picked up rifles, they've been able to bounce back pretty heavily from that early deficit. So they're now only down 5 rounds, exactly where we left things off at the beginning of the second half. It was a 10-5 lead for CLG Red after the first half. Could have been worse, given that some of those situations could have been easy rounds for CLG, like that Deagle round for, I believe it was Velo. But CLG Red looking to split towards outside as they head up Ivy and they go for the flag. It's just a little bit too deep, and it's a pretty solid crossfire setup here for the likes of the Pupper squad. Oxide, and I believe that was Fisk over towards the horseshoe area or lane or back lines, whatever you want to call it. Everyone has a different name for it. I feel like there's 8 million names for it, and everyone tells me you're wrong when I say the one that they don't use. But it's the round for the CT side regardless. And again, CLG Red back up to the bye. But these rounds now are starting to become a little bit more problematic. They need to be careful. They're really letting Puppers right back into this game.
Dangerously close. 4 rounds away from tying it up at 13 all. But for the time being, a nice slow play here. Both teams trying to get a feel for their opponents. Fisk in a very aggressive position just outside of ladder. Of course, there are players nearby. He will attempt to hold the line if they do decide to push, but he blinds himself, and that's unfortunate. Luckily for him, there's no one there to penalize him for said mistake. It is going to be CLG Red, for the looks of it, setting up at least for some sort of B-site fake. Now, they could always just drop down towards ladder because they do have Benita out towards Ivy, so they could split the A site while the B strike happens. They could also rotate back up and just head straight towards B as well. Their options are open. CLG Red giving room to work here. Instead of Pupper Squad getting aggressive and trying to take these fights, they're cautiously towing the line.
So it does look like it's going to be a play towards B, and then Benita is going to be the late lurk. So what they'll try to do is they'll try to plant the bomb on the left side of the bomb train or on the right side. Either way, so she can get towards through CT or through Z and basically come in on the wrap and just play from the back of the yard. So a good take right now, and you can see it's already happening here. Benita's moving in quick. She's trying to get towards CT spawn to come in on the flank, and she's going to be in position in time to catch this player towards the back of Z, but she doesn't necessarily spot that player. Oxide almost gets a kill. Karslagenbro, meanwhile, coming up from the oil train, and there you go. Benita gets there in time. So it wasn't necessarily as flawless in the execution as they wanted it to. The timing didn't work quite well, but the play was understandable well ahead in advance. Once they started moving towards Inner and Benita was playing towards Ivy that late in the round, it was obviously just that late lurk, and it ended up working out in the end, even if Benita didn't necessarily crush them from the backside like you would expect.
Luckily for Pupper Squad, they're going to have the bank to buy back into this one. So they've got all their nades. They've got all their kits. They don't have an AWP to counter that of Potter, but they do have rifles, and they try to take in a bit of an initiative, peeking out here towards Ivy. But unfortunately for them, this could actually give them a false sense of confidence. Sure, they don't spot anybody when they go for the wide peek the first time, but now they will spot Benita. There were players nearby, just not lined up. However, he finds the first. That's the opening kill here into the favor of the CT side. CLG Red trying to close the distance, trying to get this bomb to the A site. Oxide getting aggressive and pushing through the smoke will be penalized for said actions. Back to the 4v4.
Olaf was the call there in case you didn't hear it. That's the corner right next to the blue train. Good call from Potter as they did take down the player that pushed up. Got a little bit scary. Molotov down on the bomb. That's beautiful from Dai. It's going to delay the defuse just a little while longer. Claudia is still in position, as is Miss Harvey. She's taking a hailstorm of bullets here. Nice shot from Claudia to try and win the round for her team, but eventually it's just too much to overcome, and Carl Sagan should have enough time here on the defuse. And there you go. It will be a round for the CT side, but heavy expense. Really, I mean, there's some money, but it's not necessarily in all the right places. Like, Carl Sagan's got 10K, Fisk has 7K, so they're going to be able to juggle guns around and field a buy. If the score weren't as close as it was, if it weren't 14-10 moving into the 25th round, I would say that CLG Red should force up here, like a heavy force. They know that the CT side is barely able to buy, and that they're going to be, you know, reaching for, you know, the piggy bank. So this would be the perfect situation for them to try and just break the back. But unfortunately, they're going to try and save, play it smart, play the late game, and they're just going to go with the full eco. And we need to burn this computer when the day's done. Yeah, we're going to do that. We're gonna go, yeah.
Alrighty, Pupper Squad trying to retake 3 versus 3. Still CLG Red with that bomb plant in. Trying to close the distance, but again, they are starting to push up through the back from the CT spawn. They need to work quickly. They need to close the gap. The flashbang here going to be keeping the T's at bay, but Oxide with the headshot. Harvey dropped out of this one. He's going to be continuing the hunt, trying to find the players, trying to grab the spots, and he does grab another kill, but Benita with a headshot to Fisk. That's going to stop the bomb. Diffuse for a second, no. Sorry, I can't quite see the radar. But CLG going to be giving up another. That is going to be Pupper Squad with another round. Now, I'm going to be blunt. There's been issues today. But there's also talks of... there are talks of cutting things short tonight in order to have more time to perfect things for tomorrow. I've spoken with the admin. We've spoken about it. We've decided what's the point of trying to push the envelope tonight if this is what we're going to be able to provide, as opposed to just coming back tomorrow, refreshed, fully firing on all cylinders, and ready to provide the Fragadelphia experience in true colors. But this round, number 26, is going to be Pupper Squad with the one-player advantage yet again. They're going to be working it. Bomb planted on the B site. CTs, again for the retake. 3 versus 2. 14-11.
Oh, you got this. Go ahead. You're good.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Take it.
Alrighty. So, they continue to push on forward. Who knows who? Doesn't matter, but they are using the verticality as you do see 2 players up. Big K dropping Benita, and Velo with a nice headshot to Claudia clears the second. That is going to be another round here for the CT Forces, and now they've been able to close this gap to only 2 rounds.
I've never hated computers this much in my life. I'm a professional IT guy, and I can tell you with great confidence that I hate computers right now. I might punch my PC by the end of the night.
Just don't punch me.
Yeah, I will.
I'm frail.
I don't want to kill you. I don't know if I like. You don't look like you can necessarily eat more than like a half throw. I'm not a strong guy, but you definitely live up to your casting name.
You calling me scrawny?
I am. That's
a lot
your
of
name,
people call me
isn't
that.
it? Yes, that's what I'm told.
Yeah.
So, a big round coming in for CLG. Surprise, we're actually getting to see the game. And it's a 14-12 scoreline. They're so close to being able to close this one out. They're just having a hard time inching towards the end. But they are getting there.
I'm going to call it. This is going to overtime.
Yeah? I'm going to call it. This is going to crash in a really clutch situation with no error code. It's just going to crash. It's the game, so you guys understand, the game just closes.
It's
and it's
closing.
Nothing. Like, no error, no even like, hey, CSGO stopped working. It's just
not responding.
It's just the game just closes. And I have played, I don't know, like 50 pucks this month, I feel like, and I have not had that problem once. So
CLG Red have actually done a very good job of getting themselves into ID. Unfortunately, Velo will be able to penalize that with the first. Potter able to trade frags back, so CLG not in that bad of a situation. Miss Harvey straight above Big K. She drops down upon him. Everybody's inside of this smoke. There's knives being thrown here. It is Sagan with the first and Big K with another. Suddenly, we do have a 4 versus 2 to the favor of Pupper Squad. Miss Harvey now the last lady standing here for the side of CLG Red. She's looking for headshots, but she's only finding death. Down she goes to the M4 of Oxide. 14-13. Moving on forward.
all right, there's the pause.
Good call.
I'm not sure what the pause is for, if it's tactical, if it's technical, if it's...
We see CLG Red talking.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously you assume that in this scenario, this is a tactical pause.
Yes.
As they want to go over things, talk about where things are going wrong. Right now, it's been rough. I mean, this second half has been rough. They started things off. It looked like, okay, it's going to be over soon. It's 13-5. And then they lose their first buy, and it's just over and over and over. They struggle. They find one round. They survive with 3. They've been able to get the bomb down in multiple occasions, but they haven't been able to fend off.
I mean, you give the pistol round to the CTs the same way that CLG Red grabbed it, and this game's already done. Pupper Squad win. That pistol, essentially, at this time being, is what has held CLG Red in this second half. Because you take that away with the 2 conversion points, again, this game is already over. If it wasn't for that, CLG Red, 1 gun round, and that's unfortunate because they were in a very good position coming out of the first half. And now, not even the first half, but the first half and the gun and the conversions.
Yeah.
And then sweep across the board.
They desperately need to adjust here. They need to find something. You know, they actually had pretty good success just working fast towards A. They haven't. Their big problem is they can't work B that much.
No.
I think the one round they got on B was that buy round where Benita came on the flank from Ivy. That was the only round they've gotten on B. All the other rounds, like, yeah, I guess you could. I'm just saying, like, in general, their B site has seemed to be where they struggle. But unfortunately for a lot of teams, like, that's where they default to when things don't work on almost every map.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of funny that it's A and B when B is 99% of the time the secondary option. So, like, one of the few maps where you don't see it be a secondary option often is maybe Dust 2. But a lot of the maps, like, B is like, okay, A didn't work, let's go B. Like,
what about Cobblestone?
Inferno is like that. Yeah, Cobblestone's another one where it's kind of like it's opposite. But for most of the maps, I'd say out of the active rotation, it's like Dust 2 is the only one, and then, or Dust 2 is one, and then Cobblestone is one.
Yep.
But then, like, you know, Inferno and Mirage and all those maps, it's always been like, let's try A, and if it doesn't work, we'll go B.
This one, though, looking like CLG Red trying to close the gap towards the A site quickly. They do have those smokes down for the bomb plant. Die at least going to be grabbing some cash flow for her team moving forward. Again, CLG Red with the bomb plant and a one-player up, but suddenly Oxide able to grab the 2K and swing things back to the favor of the Puppers. Oxide with another. Oxide with another. 4K already looking for the ace.
Not going to get it. Rob, the big K rips it off. But that was really what they wanted. CLG Red, clearly, the way they played that round after the bomb went down, they were not playing necessarily crazy on the post plant. They were playing just to try and take that situation. So 14-14. We are now 2 rounds away from a team winning or us going to overtime.
Yeah, not live. We're not live.
We're not live. That's fun.
That's an easy matchmatic fix. I believe a pause was attempted to be called.
Yeah, so I noticed it. Let's just go to music. Let's not even play with this one. let's just do it. That's it. It's done.
Bro, you need to tilt. Give them the cue.
I've already been tilted. I don't think there's any point at which
Hi, I'm Steven Sasquatch Chicos, and you watching Fragadelphia. Delphia. Yeah, man.
We are at this point. We made it. Round 29, so we were able to medic. I don't know what happened. I know what happened, but it's not even worth getting into. If you knew what was going on today, it would just really fit in. In fact, this is the perfect time for my PC to just decide that it's going to blue screen. Because that's also happened today.
Don't say that! Why?
Are you for real?
Why?
This really just happened. That really just happened.
God.
Oh my god. It didn't blue screen, so I said it was going to blue screen. It didn't do that. I have never had these problems ever.
That's a nice pick.
Like, not even one time.
CLG red, 4 versus 3. That's a nice opening. Benita with a second. Suddenly, 3 versus 3. Equalize back. And they do continue to fight for the A site, but Ivy has been dropped and the bomb as well in the eyes of the counter-terrorists. 2 versus 2. And this one's looking hot and heavy. They do still have utility on the side of the defense. 40 seconds for the T's to play with here. Currently, they do have Big K next to the A site. Potter sitting behind the Ivy train. And then we have Miss Harvey trying to find the angle, trying to root Big K out of this position. But he finds the timing for the peak. Miss Harvey tagged, and there's the kill. Potter coming wide, able to grab it. And now it's down to Carl Sagan. 1 versus 2. Make it 1 versus 1. It is just down to Potter, and she has the AWP. She's coming wide, and she did. She sees her, not able to grab it. It is Carl Sagan with the 1v2 clutch to take Pupper squad into a guaranteed overtime position. And I called it, we could be going into the realm of overtime. How does that make you feel?
I feel like this BO3 is like 9 hours long. I have more hair now. That's what's happened.
Not on top of your head.
Yeah, well, that's a story for a different day.
Okay.
I mean, people think I can't grow hair, so I grew hair for a little while, and then I realized how annoying it is to have hair. So I shaved it all off. And now I can't grow hair again. I lost my awesome moniker of Discount Conor McGregor. No longer own that one. Instead, I'm like Discount Bald Guy with a beard. I don't even know who that is. But it is going to be a rifle round here for CLG Red. They have plenty of utility to work with as well. But from what looked like a sure thing to all of a sudden a game that's now at risk. They were definitely cruising towards an easy victory. Now this game actually could be over. Big K and Carl Sagan Bro posted up towards B. Molotov down towards lower to try and delay the push, and it does so beautifully. Big K is still in position. They haven't spotted him. They've got...
Oxide sitting at the bottom of the staircase. Again, it will be trades frags. 3 versus 3 with 40 seconds. Obviously, we do have that bomb heading out towards the A site. Bonita with a headshot onto Carl Sagan. That is a 3 versus 2 now. CT's only with 30 seconds left to hold the A site, but the bomb's been down. 40-second after plant position, and it will be the counter-terrorists in the 1v2. Velo has been able to find the kill to D, but it is just Bonita and somebody else unknown still standing here for the side of the terrorists. Again, they have the after plant positions, and they're going to be trying to hold, but slowly and surely she starts to walk closer and closer, inching her way forward. Neither player in her sights. Velo is about to die. He rounds the corner to the headshot, and overtime has arrived. Another one. Another 6.
Oh my gosh. I've had so many certain grins on my face throughout the day today that I'm going to need floss to pick out all the fecal matter.
It's time.
It's
time.
Yeah, it's time. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's when you really know things are getting bad.
Yeah.
When Discount Semler unbuttons the top button. You're so fancy even when you're laid back.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's like, hold on, let me take my bow tie off of my tuxedo.
Here we are, though. Pupper Squad, CT side. If CLG Red, theoretically, right, they won 2 rifle rounds out of 12. 2 of 12, 1 of 6, therefore half of 3. If they get just 1 of these 3 overtime rounds, then they will have done better mathematically than the rest of their T-side have. So that's great. If they can grab 2, even better. At the very least, the economy won't be a factor here. $10,000 start money for both squads. Already, however, it is the A-site defense firmly in the hands of Pupper Squad. 4 players nearby, and only Big K alone towards the B site, where there is a coalition of CLG Red players starting to head.
Dye's just sitting back behind the backside of Brown Train. Looks like they actually want to maybe work this bomb over towards Inner. There's the flashbang up and over the hut. But Dye's just sitting on this ladder buying time. She's waiting. And Bonita is slowly moving in from Ivy as well. It's an interesting crossfire setup in towards Old Hell. Dye is still in position. Oop, there's the peek from Heaven. And Dye's still going to play this position to a T. Finally, she peeks from over towards Ivy. That was Bonita peeking. Everything just kind of falls apart from there. That is a fantastic round for the Puppers. 3 for Big K and 2 for Velo as they shut down the push from CLG Red. Like you said, they need just 1.
Look at that keyboard.
Yeah, that's a very... carpal tunnel is a very serious problem for that individual. His fingers probably aren't going to feel so good in about 10 years. But another buy coming in from CLG Red. And they're going to need to do a little bit better than they did in last one, because after this, their money's going to be stripped down to nothing, and the lack of cash is going to make things quite difficult for them. So they've got an op.
They do. Potter looking for a pick. But
she's admiring the Ivy. It's very beautiful.
Nobody's taking an aggressive angle. This is actually very nice by Pupper Squad. Instead, just keeping eyes on on Ivy instead. Velo, sitting up here, flashing, buying time, just making a distraction, keeping CLG Red at bay. Of course, they do have 2 players elsewhere, one on towards the top of ladder, and the second with the bomb, working its way up top as well. Now Potter with that AWP, able to find the opening. Down goes Velo. 5 versus 3 here as the Ivy push starts to lead the charge. Now here is Dye to find 1. Oxide trading back, and Miss Harvey can't capitalize off the trade frag. That's the bomb drop clearly in the hands of Pupper Squad. 45 seconds left to play with here as Oxide tries to stay alive. He will be pushed, however, as Bonita tries to find the angle with a 3rd kill. This man has individually kept his team in this round. 2v2. Claudia does manage the trade frag back. It's Carl Sagan and Big K in an attempt to stop the line. And simultaneously, they will do exactly that.
Wow. I mean, it was Oxide who was back behind the E-box.
With the 3K.
Yeah,
Huge.
there was not really a situation where that player should be able to survive that long and do what they just did. So CLG Red is now in dangerous position. They're in really rough territory because they haven't picked up a single round, and now they're working with nothing. I mean, they have an AK, a couple of Galeals, a Tech 9 as well, and a Scout. And it feels like they just are running out of ideas here as the half progressed further and further. Their T-side started to feel a little bit more and more confusing. They're setting up for passive, and they're not playing. They're not necessarily going like with dedicated strats at this point. They're looking for picks early on. They're not going their way. they've had players out in the yard, but they haven't been able to do anything with that one player. Like Die, for instance, got towards the bottom of the ladder on the brown train, but she just couldn't go anywhere. So she's like, I have this area, but I can't do anything with it. And that feels like basically a majority of the rounds that we've seen thus far for CLG Red on their B side. Potter with the scout drops immediately. One kill did go their way, but they're falling like flies, dropping by the wayside. It is all up to Claudia. She's going to have to go absolutely ham sandwich here with the AK. She does pick off one and manages to get out of dodge in time. She's actually hunting down the ace for the one round that CLG would be able to pick up in this second half, or this first half of overtime. Molotov in towards T-Connector. Keeps her at bay to a certain degree. She's still got 2 players left in the site, and Big K looks like he just wants to peek out and take this fight, and he does. Spots her, takes her down.
CLG Red now either fighting for double overtime or group stage elimination.
The Puppers.
Carl Sagan, bro.
The Puppers. I mean, just an absolutely unreal performance from, I mean, Oxide and Velo and Carl Sagan. Like, look at the distribution of kills. 29, 28, 25, 24. Fisk had, like, 1 kill at one point.
Yeah,
he's now at 17. He's 7 below Big K. So it's still not, like, great numbers from Fisk, but a massive turnaround considering where things were. And it looks like the Puppers are just going to try and move in quick. They want to close this one out fast. They're just bombarding this A site. Flashes and smokes. Benita gets spotted, but she's trying not to over-peek this one. She's got a player coming in from the backside, and they know that she's there. The call was made for hell, and they take her down. Die on the bomb train. Can't manage to get the kill on the player by the backside of the brown train. Meanwhile, Potter's wrapping around from the old bomb, but she's cut off by the smokes. And it's down to only 2 here. Miss Harvey picks off 1. Potter not able to spot that player pushing through the smoke. And now it's all up to Miss Harvey, 22 HP. And the bomb is heading towards this A site. They're going to jump up on the train, but they can't quite get the shot. And there it is. The Puppers eliminating CLG Red from the tournament. A team that many looked at as favorites to make it out of the group are going to be sent home.
That's not the face of a happy camper.
No, it is not. It is very unfortunate. I honestly feel bad for both of these teams. Like, the issues were...
The situation.
Were abundant.
Yeah.
And, you know, we made the best of it. There's just things that are going on that you guys, it's just not worth getting into. But the fact that both teams, like, sat through it all and were really understanding. And, like, they know... We didn't get the 9 Fragadelphias with problems like these.
No.
If we had problems like these, we would have quit long ago. I think a bullet would have wound up in my head much sooner.
Here's the thing. This isn't Frag. This isn't the level that we obviously want to create. It's not what we're trying to accomplish, and it's for that reason that we are actually cutting the night short, because we're not willing to continue forward with this kind of stuff. It doesn't make sense to try again.
Yeah, I mean,
beat a dead dog.
To beat it, yeah. As you would like to say.
Instead,
we're just beating dead dogs left and right.
Instead, we're going to spend the rest of the time tonight making sure that we work out the kinks so that none of this happens again tomorrow, because it's just an unenjoyable experience for everybody.
My game just crashed.
So
that just is like a perfect kind of explanation as to what's going on.
With that, we have concluded the first day of the frag-filled Fragadelphia LAN.
Yeah, you started to mix that up, didn't you?
A little bit.
Got a little jumbled. It's okay. So we're going to end the stream in just a minute. Reminder, guys, we do have a sub-only giveaway. We're giving away SteelSeries mouse, keyboard, and mouse pad. We're giving away VIP ESL New York tickets. And if you want to see yours truly there, you'll want those, because I'm going to be hanging out and wandering the building as a spectator, which is like the first time I've ever been to an event as a spectator. I've always gone like working events, so it'll be nice to be there as just someone who gets to sit back and watch. You're also offering up a Frag t-shirt and sweatshirt, neither of us wearing either.
Nope.
We're just ashamed. We don't want to be associated with Fragadelphia. Yeah, our producer just ripped his shirt off.
Pass it over, bud.
He just blew it off. It's going to be a little stinky and sweaty.
Smells.
There it is. He's trying to flip it inside out. We also have a Sloth mouse pad and shirt. Go ahead and check out Sloth Esports. Make some of the finest mouse pads in the industry. I'm not saying that's personal bias, because I also have a deal with Sloth Esports. They also make one hell of a t-shirt, if I do say so myself. There's our Fragadelphia shirt. Man,
yeah.
You can hold that. You can have that one. And then, yeah, if you want an idea of what the Sloth pad looks like, embrace the Sloth. right here. Beautiful mouse pad. That's all for subscribers, if I'm not mistaken, Twitch subscribers. So if you're willing to risk $4.99 to enter into our giveaway, it is well worth it. There's plenty there, and you do not have to be watching to win. So if you win a raffle, PMs will be sent out Sunday night. So don't have to be watching. You can, you can like hit that button, subscribe, and then just walk away. I know it's been tough to watch this far. So if you just want to pretend that this doesn't exist, that's up to you. But if you want to be cool and hang out with us,
but
and
you know what we're gonna do, Buck?
embrace the pain.
You know what we're gonna do?
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna come back tomorrow.
Drink heavily.